Out the roots, he let the beats build. Out the roots, he let the beats build, bitch. And we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it cheap. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No.
We live from the boxing section, you dusty ass niggas. What's going on, man? We live from the boxing section, man. What's going on? Man, Coop, what's going on, big dog? Salute to you, man. For pulling up. Eric Gomes, Brother Cole, salute to you, man. Appreciate y'all boys sliding. Hey, listen, man. Y'all want to boxing? We're gonna talk a little boxing, man. I got some great news. Hopefully it comes to pass. But Janet Beck, they offered Charles Conwell a fight for the belt. Hopefully he takes that fight. I think he'll be good in that fight. It's a tough fight, but he might be able to get off and win that fight. Salute to everybody that came in, man. It's coming in right now. Appreciate y'all, man, for holding down with me, man. Man, the last 2 days I had a lot of technical difficulties, bro. But we're back now, man, and we're good to go. So that'd be a great fight at 160. Charles Conwell is a better fighter than the guy that Dylan Beck struggled with. His last fight. The only thing is, do we know if Charles Conwell can take the same punches that Bentley took? That's yet to be seen. And so we're gonna find out. So hopefully he takes that fight. Hopefully he gets that fight and they make it happen. Because that'd be a good fight, especially for Top Rank. That'd be a good fight for Top Rank to promote. And Charles Conwell get his face out there even more. And that'd be good for him. That'd be good. So he'll be coming up in weight though, because normally he's at 154. So he had to go up a couple pounds for the 160 smoke. But for a title shot, I mean, why not? Why not? That's the opportunity of a lifetime, man, to become a world champion. So I think that he might as well do it. All right. And so, Michaela Maris getting back in the ring pretty soon. We got Jojo Diaz getting back in the ring March 18th out in Long Beach. I'm thinking about going to that fight. Taking that trip with the homies or whatnot, and really kicking it. Yeah, man. So it's definitely going down, man. Yo, Tony Tone, what's up, bro? Salute to you, my boy. Appreciate you for sliding through, man. Always. Yeah, man. Definitely. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay, we good. We back. Okay, so we got good news and bad news. Adrian Broner has lost another opponent. But they're still working on him getting another opponent. So hopefully he gets another opponent. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to go now because it's I kind of deserves to fight. Adrian Broner deserves to fight. He deserves to get in there. Because I think, in my humble opinion, if he gets like he coach in a fucking building, even he coach.
What's up, dog? Your audio's fucking trash.
I think it's his head. Man, he got that one. Can you hear me now? Am I better?
I mean, it's just trash, bro. You sound like you underwater or some shit. Like staticky as shit. Oh, fuck. Now it's just me. Oh, damn. Where the fuck everybody at, man? Shout out to all the homies from everywhere. Even if I don't like you, shout out to you. There you go.
How's my audio?
Oh, you good now? You back in, crystal clear.
I had to move up another flow. That flow wasn't kind to me. Yo, what's up, Mexico? Listen, March 18th. If you don't have nothing planned, and I ain't got nothing planned, there's a trip to Long Beach we can go to. So we can hit the we can hit the alleys like you always do.
Oh, for what? What's the reasoning?
I mean, it's not huge, but he was a nice guy when we met him. Jojo Diaz is fighting.
Fighting who?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, after this case, I don't know.
But what I'm saying is, though, it's a trip to LA.
Bro, I wanted to ask him about his case so bad when we were there, bro. It took everything inside of me to not at least bring it up.
Yeah. BP, what's up with your personality?
Mostly because he was with his girl, bro. Because I was trying to disrespect, but if he was by himself and we was like chopping it up, I would have asked him, dog.
Combo, what's going on with you? I'm glad you did not, because he was a nice guy.
He's cool.
Yeah. So,
but there's no way I'm making that LA trip right before I make that Vegas trip the week before. Fuck that, bro. I'm trying to go.
Oh,
Benavides plant, bro. Who the fuck is going?
Who's Matt's best friend, first off?
Oh, Vaughn. Mr. Juanito.
Oh,
Juanito Esposito.
Juanito combination.
12.
Nah. Damn that.
Hey.
Nigga name is Juanito Esposito.
Nah. His name is the old 1-2, 12.
5-0.
Can somebody really tell me why they called it Apollo 12?
Because there was 12 of them in the Rodney King bean.
No, that's valid.
Fuck up, Max.
Shout out to Black History.
Fuck up. Man, you ain't talking shit. You fell for that shit during Black History Month.
No, I just said, all right, whatever. Like, Max is on this bullshit.
Man.
I mean, there was a lot of them.
All right, but yeah, man, dude, we had a late start today. Man, I had a great conversation with Coop and DJ earlier this morning, and that shit almost lasted like 2 hours. But yeah, but back to boxing, right? Damn, I'm going though. I'm going to the Benavidez plant fight for sure. And now that Adrian Broner fight ain't happening, I might splurge on a nice hotel.
Oh, well, I don't give a fuck about all that. I just need a place to sleep. Hey, but hey, old girl might be sliding with me that weekend though.
That's fine.
See, but she got her homegirl. She got a homegirl that stay in Vegas, right? But she was kind of like, she's like, every time I go there, the bitch don't ever let me do that. I was like, look, here's the thing. You go rock with your boy, right? But she don't want to go to the fight because she's like, you gonna be with all your boys, and I'm not gonna be like the only female because she like
apologized?
Huh? No, she apologized. She apologized.
Man,
she apologized like she should, like she should. That's cool. That's good. I like women to take accountability, but You know what I'm saying? So she was like, she old school. So she like, girls, when the guys are doing shit, the girl's supposed to be in the other room type, like that style. So she's like, I don't want to be like, I had a fight with you, it's just nothing but do it. So I was like, hey, peep this. That when I'm at the fight with the homies, which is gonna be hours, right? That's when you go with your girl. Do your Vegas shit with your girl. Y'all go tear it up. And then when I get out the fight, I'm gonna hit you, slide, we go in the club, we do the thing, we enjoy Vegas. So it's two birds, one stone. And yeah, so I definitely need just at least a bed to get my hump on, and that's about it.
Stop the Bonner hate, man. Bonner was motivated for this fight. He lost a lot of weight, got in shape. It's not Bonner's fight that the fight is not happening. Everybody got to stop the Bonner hate, man. Bonner goes out there and does what he's supposed to do.
Do you think some of this could have been foul play?
Yep. Hey, Blue Blood said this morning that it's clearly politics behind the scene, that there's two different calls of motherfuckers trying to block the fight. So
because if they were able to get anesthesia, whatever, out of the fight, out of his fight, but then they couldn't get Broner's opponents out of their fight, it'd be the same protocol, and it should be. It's not like Redcalf was such a high-profile fighter where wherever he was fighting probably was like a dire headline.
So was it a lie on behalf of the first dude that said his promoter was like on some janky shit?
Yeah, that's Red. That was Redcalf, Ivan Redcalf, who promoter. But if you have a lawyer or a bigger promotion company calling you and say, "Hey, I can show you how to nail this guy to the cross," and you won't be able to let him out of his deal, or he won't be able to get out of this fight, I don't see why they wouldn't take that phone call to still make their money.
I told y'all this fight wasn't going to happen. I'm glad I ain't buying no fucking tickets to make all these damn plans.
It sucks that it's happening a week before the fight, though.
It's been happening weeks and weeks. It's like his third opponent.
Yeah, I know that's fucked up. So we can't blame Bonner. Bonner has been consistent.
Hey, put an R in that shit, dog.
Broner. I don't want to call it a boner.
Well, you call it bruh. Say it with me now.
Hey, listen here. I'm not getting taught anything in Black History Month about an R. Bye.
Oh, all right, cool. Touche. I will not tell you to make the R harder in your language.
He's trying to make my R harder, man.
Oh man.
So, how do you guys feel about Devin Haney being underneath from Arthur Beterbiev on a pound for pound?
Man. I mean, I'll go. I think Beterbiev fought better competition so far, so I'm not mad at that.
Even with Devin Haney being the unified.
Yeah, because for me, I mean, this is only personal, and I know probably don't got nothing to do with official rankings, but if you got undisputed by just beating one dude that had most of the belts, I don't think that's the same as collecting belts.
Correct. I had that conversation with someone before, but what about the fact that Beterbiev actually still hasn't fought the top opponents?
Only one left.
He still has one left. So pound for pound.
But then there's the knockouts. But then there's the knockouts.
So you weigh heavy on, the way that he won.
Yeah. I think it's the best way to win a fight is to knock a motherfucker out. There ain't no dispute. Ain't no maybe. Ain't no it was close. Nah, it's over.
If you have that, then how is Shakur Stevens under Devin Haney then? Because I would say he fought the tougher opponents, and neither one of them had a knockout in their last fight, but Shakur Stevenson has been collecting the belts slowly but surely, taking out other champions. So why would he be at number 10 and not at least number 9?
I would probably say maybe defenses. I mean, title defenses, because Haney has actually defended his undisputed, which rarely happens. He's about to defend it twice. I can't really think of anyone. I mean, what was the last time? What, Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor?
But what I'm saying is the same argument that Arthur has for Arthur Benavidez kind of falls in. Shakur Stevens kind of falls in between the two.
What, competition and stoppages?
Yeah, he might not have won his last fight by stoppage, right? But he has, he stopped Jeff Horn. And he's been collecting the belts. So he's not unified, but he does have multiple titles. I mean, he's not undisputed, but he does have multiple titles. He's unified. So why not him be in
Who, Shakur?
yeah, why not him be 9?
Shakur got no
Never
titles.
be 10. No, he's the unified junior lightweight champion.
No, he gave up all his titles.
Yeah, he dropped him. Yeah, he did drop him. Yeah.
Didn't he?
But
He missed weight.
he dropped him. Yeah, he missed weight. But
There you go.
still
There's
for
your
the
answer.
rest of the pound. Yeah.
I'll give you
Yeah,
pound for
yeah,
pound. You can't even make weight.
Well, he was
extra
off by
pounds.
like a pound, man.
Don't matter. He was off. He gets
A
paid
few
millions of dollars.
ounces.
He gets paid millions of dollars to be on.
What if he? So what y'all wanted him to do? Take water pills to lose that weight?
I mean, do something. Take a shit or something, dog. Shit.
Maybe not water pills, but a little bit of blood thinner.
Yeah, maybe a little PEDs like Michelle Rivera. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I get on that Conor Ben to lose weight, and make weight for the fight. Stop, bruh. Can you hold on?
I think Tyson Fury's been so inactive. Maybe he should have been a little lower on the rankings as well. What do you think about his places?
Whose rankings are these? ESPN, Ring.
I'm using ESPN. This is all of them are biased regardless.
Yeah.
They're all biased.
At least they actually put Haney on there this time. Shit.
And that's why I chose to look at that one, because but I'm still stuck on how Tyson Fury is still at still up 7, even though he dropped from 6 to 7. I still think like he's up too high.
Is there any other heavyweights on that list?
Usyk, who's 3rd.
He 3rd?
Yeah.
Usyk is 3.
I ain't mad at that.
As a cruiserweight or a heavyweight?
As a heavyweight.
Pound for pound. I mean, he's one belt away from being the first 2-weight undisputed champ.
And Crawford is 1 and Earl is 4.
Yep.
Crawford should be number 1, right?
Yeah, Crawford always number 1, man.
You feel me?
Crawford 1, Earl is 4.
Yeah.
Who's 2 then?
2?
Inoue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was just guessing, and I knew.
Nah, he should be. He should be.
Yeah. I would prefer to see him as. Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Maybe if he beats Stevie.
1. But does Stevie? I don't think Stevie does anything for his rankings.
I want to know what excuse Cal gonna make when his homeboy get beat up by Inoue.
I know it's gonna be a sad day in the boxing section.
Well, do you think that fight with Fulton does anything for his pound for pound, or?
I don't think it's gonna get him to number 1. I think the only way Terrence gets out of number 1 is losing, man.
Mm-hmm.
He been on pound. He been like top 3 pound for like 10 years. Yeah.
Could you imagine? So with that being said, a win over Inoue will be amazing for Fulton, correct? Like, it would do great numbers for his career, his career, his purse, his future purses.
Would it turn into a trilogy if he loses to him? They're gonna have to run it back.
It'll be a trilogy if Inoue, get him the second time. But I think it's a situation where they will have to run it back. And depending on Fulton's career, how it goes, this could be a legacy fight for how both of them career goes. It could be a legacy fight for each other, because at bantamweight is not a lot of guys down there. So
Shout
yeah,
out
you
to
look good.
Patricia Shelton for the words of encouragement in the comments. Cal is away from the mic at the time, so I just want to read her thing. It said, Cal Davis, gentlemen, enjoy your friendships and cherish them. Love, peace, and soul.
Miss Patricia, where you been?
And Steph, if you out there, come to the panel, man.
Nah, Steph ain't fuck with y'all no more, man. Y'all ran him off.
I ain't run Steph off. Steph is always cool with me.
Y'all ran off Steph, man. It's fucked up. I ain't talked to Miss
Hey,
Patricia in a minute
so
though.
so do y'all think? Do you think the last, that last fight that Canelo and Triple G had? Do you think that it does anything for Canelo, or do you
No,
like for his career wise, or do you think
Hell
it's going
no.
to look like
nobody
another?
even see that. Like,
I forgot that fight
Well,
even happened.
no, I'm thinking about I'm talking about like down the road, maybe 2-3 years down
stop,
the road.
please.
Does
No, I
this?
mean, look, 20 years from now, they're gonna look at it like, damn, he beat Triple G twice. You know what I mean? Like, they really gonna know the circumstances behind the fights, just like most of us don't when years pass. So at the end, that's why I said Canelo's team is the best team in boxing, bar none. They know what it. They're like, hey, let's just get these names on the record, get the dubs. They might be mad now, but 50 years from now, they ain't gonna be mad. They just gonna see names in a resume
Yeah, they just gonna be like, oh, well, he fought all these people. It
and
didn't
beat them.
matter if they were over the hill or
No matter. Yep.
on their way out and shit like that.
And then 50 years from now, if you still arguing that point, you look like a fucking hater.
Mm.
Well, this dude was old. Well, this dude hadn't fought in 2 years. Well, this dude,
Aubrey,
don't matter.
Aubrey, get up here and sit down. I ain't about
But
to keep talking to you.
So you guys know, how do you feel about Shane Mosley Jr. fighting Mario Lozano coming up, especially with him having Shane in the corner? But Shane's been in the camp with him, Shane Senior.
wait, Shane Senior is training his opponent.
No. His son Shane Senior's been working with Junior.
Oh, damn, drug test.
Aubrey, can you stop, please?
So what do you think? All right, well, if you feel like that, then how do you feel about Roy Jones as a trainer now or as a coach? Do you feel like he's tarnishing his legacy and his career?
Hey, Miss Patricia, we gonna be at that Benavides and Plant. Pull up. But if not, I'll be at one of them other fights too. Shit. You said about who?
With
Come on.
Roy Jones, how do you feel about what's going on with him? Do you think he's
Hey.
destroying
So
his? Do you think it's destroying?
last night I was on Mark Nash's panel, and one of the dudes from Williams' team called in because Mark's been, doing interviews with him, giving him promo, and he couldn't tell everything, but Roy's out. They said the broken jaw was totally unnecessary, unnecessary injury, and that they kicked Roy Jones off out of coaching. So that's about the only info we got, which I'm assuming kind of leads toward
Yeah.
maybe he had him sparring week of the fight and got a shit cracked or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. It's been publicized now that Roy has been kicked out the camp. Roy is no longer his trainer. His father, the young man's father, really was vocal about how he feels. But I'm asking, does this affect his legacy as a fighter, or do you think us as fans down the road will be able to separate the
Oh
two?
no, his legacy as a fighter got affected. He was getting knocked out by random nobodies in Russia and shit. Like that shit been affected. So
Yeah.
that's why I always say like we have to count
He's
them
still a legend
fights.
though. He's still a legend
So he's
though.
still a
But
legend.
salute to my boy Scotty, man, World Combat Sports, Patricia Sheldon, my boy Reggie O in the building, man. What's going on? Alon,
I
salute to my brother. Appreciate you for
I
sliding
pull
through.
up World Combat Sports. Tell us a story. It's story time. Pull up.
Shout out
I
to my
don't know.
boy World Combat.
I'm sorry. I was just wondering, do you think that he gets another chance in someone else's camp,
Always.
or
He's Roy Jones.
but does he? So what role does he take? Does he take a role like more of an advisor? So
He,
I don't think he'll be more of the number one coach. He'll be the second coach.
he should just be like a guest coach for like 2-3 days at a camp, and he shouldn't really run the camp and try to. I think he should just come in
But
and
he made
drop
So
some.
but
something
listen,
like Bill Haney works for Devin.
no, but I think he does a lot of good things because the fighter that he had fighting against Tony Harrison,
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Look
it was
really
night
good
and
against
day.
Tony
It
Harrison.
was, and it was night and day compared to how he was before he had him.
Chris Eubanks before he got elbowed in the head. Oh snap! Hey, listen to me, y'all. We got a legend in the fucking building. You understand what I'm saying to y'all? This is my motherfucking dog, man. Not only does he have a great YouTube channel, he has some of the best pictures that anybody can find. You know what I'm saying? This is my motherfucking dog, man. World Combat Sports. What's up, big dog? How you feel?
I'm good. I'm good. Am I on the show or no?
No, you on? You good? We ready to go?
Oh, okay. Salute to everybody on the panel. And this is my first time on the show. But shout out to the man himself, Kyle, the boxing section TBS in the building. Hey, this the deal with them, right? So, everybody know that I covered Team Williams for quite some time. So this right here was more so Roy Jones Jr. that has a very good, solid relationship with Adrian Broner. Roy Jones know Adrian Broner is still a tough fighter, even though his performance has been okay, comparable to what he used to do when he was picking up his divisions, right? So when it come down to it, Roy was catching a lot of backlash because of Chris Eubanks getting knocked out by Liam Smith. You know what I'm saying? And people's looking at him like, okay, Williams had his situation over at MSG. Chris Eubanks had his situation in his last fight. Chris Eubanks was Roy's fighter. He trained him. You know what I'm saying? He helped train him. Now it comes down to this fight at the last minute with BOK Prime. What Roy Jones was telling them that he didn't want Williams to take the fight because he wanted him to be ready. He didn't want him to experience somewhat the same outcome that it had in MSG because people really, dropping the backlash and talking shit. So when they was down there in Florida getting him ready, Roy was making this shit extremely, like he was scrutinizing. He like, hey, I want to make sure everything good to go. This is not for play. Adrian Broner is a dangerous fighter, this, that, and the other. So when he started getting sparring in, Roy said, hey, I don't think I want him to fight him. I'm going to pull him. But the team, whoever that was, wanted Williams to continue to take the fight because it's his paycheck. And plus, it's the biggest fight of his career against Adrian Broner. So they wanted to stay in the hunt, right? So he had another sparring session coming up. So from my understanding, he went in there and had a hard sparring session because I guess Roy wanted to see Williams in a hard sparring session, and the dude landed a freaking hard ass punch, and I can't say he went down from it or whatever, but he landed a hard punch to the fact that he couldn't continue, and they had to go to medical and found out he had a broken jaw in 2 places. But Roy Jones wanted to know, was Williams absolutely ready for this fight with Adrian Broner, because he didn't want him going in there facing the same outcome he did in Madison Square Garden. That's kind of where that was at. Roy was kind of at a point right now. Nah, man, you got to prove it to me right now. You know what I'm saying? My name on it. You got to prove to me that it's not going to be the same as it was in MSG. We're going to get some hard sparring. He got some hard sparring and end up suffering a broken jaw, unfortunately.
That kind of sucks because if it was an Adrian Broner who doesn't let his hands go, he probably would have never got his jaw broken. But I understand, Roy Jones as a fighter, you tend to you want to see another fighter show up and show out, and he really that competitive. That echo.
You gotta understand, Roy Jones back in the day, he had some so-called, I won't call them barbaric, but he had some extreme training measures. Yeah. Like he didn't play. I've been down there. He didn't play. They did things kind of the old traditional way in boxing, but Roy definitely, they didn't want to jump out the fight. So there's a conflict going on, and he said, okay, we're going to get this last sparring in. Let's see how you do against this guy. And the results lie as they may,
I wonder, I wonder, was it a different sparring partner, or was it one that was already in the camp with them?
That's a
Like, did
good
he bring
question.
in another sparring
I
partner and
don't
say,
know.
okay,
I
you
mean,
know
I can
what?
find that
I think
out.
we're gonna
That's a
bring
good
someone
question.
out. Yeah, yeah. If it was a new sparring partner who was like, you know what, we're gonna bring someone in that's gonna be front footed, that's gonna come down, push forward, more pressure fighter, and let's see if defensively you can defend yourself. Or was it just a guy who finally just had his number?
Hey, Combat, if you got the show in the background, you turn it down. There's a little echo.
Oh, me? I don't have nothing playing in the background.
No? Oh,
No.
maybe it's Kyle. Kyle.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have nothing playing in the background.
It ain't me.
It's the feds combo.
Hey, World Combat. But
Yeah, I'm
normally,
muted.
normally the sparring is done by this time now.
See, that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it like Roy wanted to make sure he was absolutely ready for this fight. He didn't want him to come down here to Atlanta in a smaller arena than State Farm, right? And you know that shit was going to be packed out because he's the pack out arena that size. He didn't want to come down here, man, and have a bad showing, and he's down here too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know the fighters that's under Roy's tutelage. Right now, he's still catching the momentum from Chris Eubanks being stopped. So I don't know. I'm not speaking for Roy Jones. I mean, he probably feels some type of way. He probably wanted to make sure Williams was totally prepared for this because there's going to be a lot of media at that fight.
I think this can, looking at the cup glass half full, this can actually help save that young man's career because if he went out there and had a bad showing or a terrible showing against Adrian Broner, who goes out on his next fight and looks horrible, what does that do for him moving forward with his purses or his ability to get fights? And I also understand, like I said, with Roy Jones, as an athlete, it's kind of like the Michael Jordan syndrome. Can't coach what you can't coach what you do because it's a certain thing and it's a certain mentality that's within you that you want to see in others, but sometimes it may not be there. And honestly, maybe if he was up to par, Roy Jones wouldn't have said, hey, I want to see you show me right here, right now. But also, maybe if Roy Jones wasn't the athlete and the champion that he was, he wouldn't have been willing to sit down and do that or ask him to do that.
You right about that shit, man, because a lot of the greats are trash at coaching or evaluating people because they had something very few people had, and they expect to try to get it out of other people that aren't on their level. I just kind of feel bad for Adrian Broner because, y'all already know I believe he's past his prime. I don't think he deserves a lot of the attention he's getting. But that could have been him breaking this dude's jaw. This could have been his comeback. This could have been another bag for him.
Hey, you need to put that on the YouTube community. That shit you said in the beginning about greats trying to pull that out of fighters that's not on their level. That's true words, man. That's true words right there, all the way from the start to the finish right there.
Yeah. And the thing is, he was doing some good things with Chris Eubanks. But I think it was at an elbow, man. It looked like an elbow. But
I think so too. I think, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of shit. Like, I know about that story too, dog. I know about Eubanks' story too.
When it comes to these greats training these other fighters, especially.
Hold on, what happened with Eubanks?
Okay, I'm sorry.
So before the fight happened, man. Okay, some people that I was in communication with, I'm talking about physically, on site. There was a conversation that was had that, this is with Eubanks Sr., that he didn't want that fight to happen. This is him dealing with, this is me talking to somebody who came up as a fighter, professional fighter, a former world champion, who used to go out to Eubanks Sr. home and help him get ready for fights and all that. So they was talking, and Eubanks Sr. was saying he didn't want this fight to happen because it's not gonna be healthy for his son, and he had already lost one son already. So he was adamant about passing the word, say, tell them don't support this fight because my son is not gonna be healthy. He's gonna be too weak to drop down to 160 and take this fight. You know what I'm saying? And he dropped down and took the fight anyway. He looked in pretty decent shape. And his dad was adamant about, nah, I don't want my son fighting at a weight that small because he ended up getting fucked up. You know, he still have a little bit more career left in him. And that was floating around behind the scenes until it became public. You know what I'm saying? And Eubanks, he's his own man. You know, he does what the fuck he want to do, of course. And I didn't think he looked strong in that fight. Not like I've seen him in sparring. I seen Eubanks. I'm not gonna lie, Eubanks, he has an ego, man. I was the only media guy at the sparring session that he had. That motherfucker was shining. That's one of the best sparring sessions I've seen, man. Dude is extremely talented, but I didn't see that in the fight with Liam. I thought he looked a little sluggish to me. Did he get hit with an elbow? I think maybe possibly, but I still look at Liam as being the bigger fighter. He looks strong, you know. So a lot of what his dad was saying played out, though. I thought he was right. He said his son was too weak to be at that weight class, and he didn't want to fight. He felt his son was going to get seriously damaged, and it was going to end his life or end his career. And I know it hurt his pops when his son got, stopped like that.
That actually tends to happen more likely than none with a lot of fighters. Like inside the camp, there's certain individuals like maybe the coach, the trainer, or the nutritionist, or in that case the father, who knows that this is not a good match for my son or for my fighter, and it tends to become a conflict within. And if you start saying it to the fighter, because it's a thing about being in training camp, you say certain things, it's like jinxing it, right? And a lot of fighters are really, what do you call it? Like they really believe in like, don't jinx this, don't jinx that, don't say this, don't do it. Superstitious, yeah, they're very superstitious, and they're very traditional, especially if you're coming out of an old school gym. And it puts, I could see how that put his father in a bad place because he doesn't want to slander his son or wish downfall on him, but he can see that this isn't the class for you, especially if you're going against a heavy hitter or a heavy puncher.
Yeah, true middleweight. Yep.
Yeah. But, a lot of times, we're not even going to go down that road. But with that said, do you think they would have to completely pull this Adrian Broner fight? I think they.
I mean, it's not like they can't find. Okay, this is the deal. Adrian Broner has a multi-fight deal with BLK Prime. So, of course, we done seen Ivan Redcash to Henry Lundy, and now Williams Jr. pulled out. Now, this is not coincidence. This is not coincidence. Believe me, it ain't. But anyway,
I believe exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, they can find an opponent for AB because it's a multi-fight deal that he has. But remember I told you first, Javier Fortuna is in the mix with this shit too. So expect potentially Javier Fortuna might, be around. I don't know if this fight coming up next or this fight coming up next week or the next fight, but yeah, they can find an opponent for next week. It's just not going to be who they want.
What I think is going to happen.
Yeah, they'll keep him busy. Exactly.
And then eventually we're going to get the Fortuna and the Redcat, depending on how he looks within these two. And like Hank will be a backup fighter because you keep a backup fighter on the deck, and they've invested so much money, and by it being a 3-fight deal.
Well, Hank ain't gonna be able to do shit. Hank is suspended. Like he has some other shit going on in violation of, like, he tried to play the system, and you can't play with Nevada State Athletic Commission and play them like that. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest ones to deal with, and that's why Floyd.
What do you do?
Yeah.
He
faked like he got cut to get a bigger paycheck.
Yeah.
So he pulled out of the fight with Red Boxing International and say he had a cut to go over there to BLK because he was getting paid more money, and they shut that shit down.
So like that's one of the ways out of the. So besides dealing with a lawyer and getting a lawyer to get you out of a fight, if you're injured, then you won't fight. So if it's something as slight as a cut or a twist ankles, something stupid, you could get out the fight. And he tried to do it the Negro way.
He tried to act like he had a cut, but you got to produce doctor's notes because you saw Williams they produced the X-ray and all the paperwork and stuff like that. I mean, it's gonna get dirty before the week is over with. But
It sucks because certain places don't do that. Certain places you could get away with that.
yeah,
Someone must have
exactly.
been someone, but that also brings me back to my suspicion that someone else is behind the scene and teaching these other or informing these other people what might be going on, like dry snitching.
We didn't really want Ivan Redcash back down here anyway because he quit against Regis Prograis when they had that Triller card. He quit.
He did. He did.
Hey, you know what though? That might be the fight we get next.
What, Redcash and Broner?
No. We just
Prograis?
programmed Adrian Broner.
Oh man, that would be
Nah,
crazy.
that's
What?
not going to happen. They're not.
I mean-
they're not gonna
I mean-
give that to Adrian Broner because Adrian Broner has to get his confidence back, right? This is his first fight, and we got to see exactly where he's at. Just thinking about it from a business standpoint as well as a fighter and a trainer standpoint. You got to get
Yeah,
your
that-
ego back on it. You get your legs right. And if they throw him in there with Rodriguez and he lose, what does the other two fights look like? So you're going to make more money with a winning AB than a losing AB.
Regis ain't losing that fight right now.
Yeah, and that's why I said that would look bad for him. Now, could we get him down the road? It really depends on the matchmakers, what they see, and what.
Bro, Regis ain't losing that fight ever, dog. Broner
No.
is done,
But
dog.
no, what I'm saying is that in that third fight, depending on the schedule, matchmaking, and what it looks like, we possibly could see something like that. But
Yeah,
as a
Regis been
realistic-
pushing for it.
Yeah, but
Regis-
realistically,
It's a bag.
it's bad for business. But yeah, it's bad for business and it's bad for AD, his mental health. And I wonder how his mental health feels. And I hopefully all the fighters that's on the undercard, hopefully they're because this affects them too. Like when you're a fighter on the undercard and you hear something happening with the main event, you're like, oh, what's going to happen? I've been in this camp, take my foot on, and then you got people, this has been going on over and over and over. So a lot of those fighters, they might be like, man, this ain't going to happen. I'm about to just go ahead and do something else.
Hey, Scotty, a question for you. Do you think the curse of the Mickey Bay Tevin Farmer fight is the reason why this fight is not happening?
That's a good question. That was all way in Arizona though. Totally different promotion. You feel me?
Hey.
So, I mean, that was a co-promotion too. So one promoter didn't have the money on deck and everything, but BLK supposedly had the money on deck, man.
I'm just saying,
know-
like that.
hey, we
Yeah, I
all know
know.
what
I
it is.
feel
So
you.
many times.
We all know what it is. You speak out against Al Heyman, your shit ain't not gonna pop. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about what Adrian? Because Mickey Bay and
Yeah.
Tevin Farmer,
No, I'm talking about
They-
Adrian
they
Broner.
seem
Adrian
to-
Broner been on a fucking press tour talking shit about Al Heyman and PBC not getting his money, and then all of a sudden, motherfucker ain't gonna get a fight either.
yeah, I mean that's true. Let me answer the question. Tevin Farmer, them man, them two good dudes right there, right? So for them to be cursed, what are they cursed off of though? A fight falling out? What are they cursed off of though?
No, I'm just saying. I don't know. The fight itself.
Why would they be
it's
cursed?
like- no, it's like the fight itself. It's like, damn, man. Like it's like the third time. It's like, damn, man.
Do you think that card can survive with? Hey, you think that BOK card can survive if they move Tevin Farmer and Mickey Bay to the main event?
I hope it can. I think it can. I don't know if they're gonna get. I don't know if they're gonna get that same money though.
I don't think so, man. I don't think they trying to see that shit down here in the A, man. I don't think they trying to see this down in the A, man. I don't think they trying to see Tevin Farmer and Mickey Bay down here, bro, as the main event.
Yeah.
It'll be a good fight, but not a good sale. I don't think they selling that.
You know, in Atlanta, we starving for some good fights, man. Like the last one with Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring, man. We starving down this motherfucker, dog.
Man, I thought the Tank and the Shakur fight down there was gonna open up the floodgate.
The Tank and what?
The Tank and Tank fighting out there, and Shakur fighting out there. I thought that was gonna open up the floodgate.
Tank did.
The new hub.
Yeah, for sure. Tank did. Tank gave us life down here. You know what I'm saying? Tank gave us life with the Gamboa and the Mario Barrios. He did. But then He was
When he came
supposed
to
to return
DC.
back down here last December, and then the court situation started coming up and all that. But he was supposed to fight. You know, Ryan Garcia supposedly, you know, down here last December. They was trying to set that shit up.
Yeah,
That would have been great.
Atlanta was looking like it was supposed to be the next hub for boxing, but
I thought it was.
but I think with AB career going the way it went, and Tank fighting home now, or we don't know what happens, but at least his last fight being home, it kind of stunts the growth of the market, the boxing market in Atlanta, because you got to remember PBC was setting that up as a hub. So Floyd's
Bro.
fighting in Dubai.
They didn't just throw a fight in Magic City, man. They be all right.
Well, you got to remember, if Floyd's fighting in Dubai, AB can't get a fight, and Tank, we don't know where he might fight at.
They have fights in Magic City. It's just that the ring is not big enough, and you know what I'm saying. And it's money all over the floor. I'm just saying, dog.
Good one.
They throw fights down there. It's between women, though. You know what I'm saying? So we need Shakur Stevenson to come back down here. He gave us a little bit of life with Jamel Herring, but you know they was trying to get Devin Haney. I think I heard word that Bill was trying to get Haney to fight Lomachenko or something down, and Lomachenko didn't want to fight down here in Atlanta.
Well, Atlanta also got to make it.
I really don't like that guy.
But
But
Ukrainians don't fuck with that Rainbow Coalition, man. So
Oh,
not even
okay.
that. You got to. So a lot of these promotion companies and stuff like that, and those big states and cities, man, they get deals. Like we bring you a fight. We're gonna bring this type of revenue. We're gonna bring this type of traffic. Everything is gonna go up. Give me a deal here. You know, give me the deal on the liquor license. Give me the deal on this. Give me the deal on that. So Atlanta, or any of these places, they gotta really be willing to work with these promoters to make it a sweet deal for them. Because now you're dealing with a different commission and their rules and regulations, and then a different demographic and different police. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, Atlanta is not considered the Rainbow Coalition, dog. Like they're down here, but it's not like you think. The women to men ratio is 20-1. So they down here, but it's not like every time you step out on the street, that's what you run into. And I have to put up a defense. This what I was born down here, so I was from the old school, the 70s down here. So, you know, it's different now because a lot of people that's from a lot of other places that moved down here. Yeah, for real, it's different.
So I lived there when the Braves won the Super Bowl, or whatever they call that baseball thing. And
Okay.
It's way different. It's way different from there to now. Like I learned to ice skate at the Coca-Cola factory. I don't know
Yeah,
if they still got the skating rink right there. But like Atlanta is not what it used to be. But needless to say, that's they don't have nothing to do with the boxing. And the boxing of it, I think actually with their market and what it is, we need to get some female fighters down there. Like Clarissa could kill it down there.
Niggas don't
You
like
can
that.
get Clarissa. I think she could kill it down there.
I don't know, Shawty. Yeah, I don't know, man.
And then what's the old girl?
You
that
talking about
was
main
Clarissa
event down here?
heavyweight?
You talking about main eventing?
Not maybe. Nah.
She's not user friendly enough to main event down here.
hey, first of all, Carissa's only gonna main event. So if it ain't that, it ain't that.
But at least
Yeah, like you got to be a little user friendly down here, especially when it comes to female boxing.
she's rough. She got to sell it. You know what I'm saying? But what about I think that fight with her and the one I can't think of the lady, the young lady who was just calling her out.
The African?
Nah,
Shadeja Sweets.
there you go.
Shadeja Sweets. Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah.
I think that'll work. Shadeja
I
Sweets
think-
and
I think-
Carissa. Yeah.
I think she brings out that other demographic, and I think they both got them out, and they'll go.
That's a good point.
Promote it on a good tour. And actually, that will get other people to feel more comfortable about the way they are in boxing, which will help boxing grow. Possible.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Yeah, Shadeja don't talk that much though, but yeah, that's a good point.
The
I
fight we
mean,
need, the fight we need is Amanda Serrano versus Alicia Baumgartner.
damn.
That's good.
We'll take that down here.
I
For
know
real.
it. I know
Because
it.
I want to see Alicia in person, goddamn it.
Right?
Like just for the weigh-in.
Just for the weigh-in. I want to see it in person. Like, damn, yeah, that fight right there, hell yeah.
But I still, when I heard the news this morning about the Adrian Broner situation, I really rushed in my head to try to figure out who can go in that position. Like who can step in there. It has to be a fighter that stays ready or a road warrior, but they have to be not tied into any fights or anything like that. So real quick, do you guys can think of anyone that can come in and fight him?
Roy Jones Jr.
AB will lose.
AB gonna lose against a formative opponent probably anyway.
I think he still don't let his hands go enough.
Hey, I'll fight him at a catchweight exhibition. Give me the bag.
So what class is it again?
Robin?
What weight are they fighting at this time?
47, supposedly. You talking about Broner? Supposed to be at 47.
Yeah, 47, right?
Ain't nobody there, man.
You know who would be a good mouthpiece to talk this fight back into existence? Blair the Flair. Blair the Flair can talk this fight up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good point.
Blair the Flair talk this all the way back into the news. In a short period of time we got.
Hey, give us a fight we all want to see, man. Mayweather Broner. Let's get it.
Yeah, but Mayweather.
Dhabi.
Mayweather's with Al, so he ain't violating that trust.
Why not Mikhail Fox?
Mayweather with his own now.
Do you think that?
He's still with Al now. He said it. Yeah, me and him still do business together. Don't get it twisted.
What about Mikhail Fox?
You talking about fighting Broner?
Yeah.
Don't nobody too much know him except his loss to freaking Gabriel
Robbery?
Maestre, right?
Yeah, but he could fill in and it'd be a good test for both. At this point, they're not gonna sell any more tickets than they sold. What's done is done. He doesn't have a dance partner. People
Man,
are buying
Fox might go in there and put hands on Broner, bro. Like,
That's
come
what
on,
I'm
man.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That might be a good challenge for him.
That would be a challenge.
It's not too hard. It's not too hard where it's like, dude, it's uphill battle. But it's like you're gonna have to really rely on your ring generalship, and your experience. And that's what he's gonna have to learn to rely on moving forward anyway, because he's not as athletic as he once was, because he doesn't know switch reactions. They go away regardless as you age. I don't care if you have been active or inactive at all. Your senses just slow down. Like your body doesn't react the way that you know it will. So I think someone like that would be a good fight for him. And if he wins that, and then he catches like an Ivan, then we can see that fight we want to see with Reed. Like that's enough to say, hey, this is competitive. I'm sorry.
Y'all know what's crazy though? Is Adrian Broner is the same age as Earl Spence, but he fucking drunk himself to what he is now, partying. You know what I'm saying? Not taking care of himself. He looks old as hell, dude. Him and Earl Spence are about the same age, dog. Think about that.
Well, look how Tony Harris look. He's like somebody's papa.
Tony Harrison?
Yeah, he look like somebody's papa to me, man.
Oh.
Hey, they're the same age. Has Broder accomplished more?
Absolutely.
Well, then there you go. That's why he's already on the way out. He did his job. He came in, did what he did.
Broner skipped. Yep. Broner accomplished more, no doubt. Skipped over 140 to 147. Got that belt, dropped back down to 40, picked up a belt. Hey, he a 4-weight champion. Either way, if, ands, or buts, he's done. You know what I'm saying? He accomplished that.
And the fact that he did the, I think what makes it, what I know what puts a big toll on your body is the way he fluctuated in weight. Like he was always coming back up heavy and then dropping and cutting and coming up heavy and dropping and cutting. And then to win at a weight class higher, then come back down and say, I'm going to cut and go low again. Like mentally and physically, that does a lot to your body.
Yeah, him and Spence actually got somewhat the same situation going on. Truth be told, I'm just being honest, man.
Yeah, it looks to be that way. I just think because Spence has been, I think he's kind of helping. Let's just, how can I say this? I think he's helping certain individuals stay face. His temperament is helping certain individuals stay face because he's not as boisterous.
So when we gonna talk about the real fight coming up?
And what fight is that?
Nah, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury, dog.
It's not a real fight, Max.
Hey, let's get it.
I'm gonna tell you why it's not a real fight, Max.
Hey, that's the real fight, bruh.
Hey, let me tell you why it's not the real fight though, Max.
Why?
Because Tommy Fury is the least talented opponent that he's fought so far. Except for his first.
He's a real boxer.
Fight. Yeah, okay.
That's all they wanted, right? That's all they wanted. Someone with an
That's what
amateur
they want.
background that was a real boxer.
That's what they wanted.
And that was his size.
What's your World Combat? What's your position on Jake Paul?
Well, all right. Back to you, Kyle.
Hey, I just want to know: do you guys really take that serious? Do you think it's doing more damage than more bad than good for boxing?
No, I think he's doing way more good.
You think so?
How is it bad when everybody's getting paid more money?
I think that actually hurts boxing in the long run. That
He's got a
boxing is better. Hold on. Boxing was better when the pay was closer, right? When people were just stuck in the same box, fighting the way out of it. But as the pay scale spread it out, so did the fights we got spread it out, right? The type of fights we got spread it out. I think the money is causing issues in the boxing community and within the fighters as well. Because like you said, like whoever that said a few days ago, if I could take a fight for 10 mil and use that as an excuse why I don't take this tough fight for 7, why would I not?
I mean, I think Jake is good for boxing in every facet.
Don't use this as an opportunity to bring up Jake Paul.
We already did. We on it.
Motherfucker.
It's the only fight that matters that whole weekend, even over Mayweather. Mayweather's my GOAT. But I mean,
well, it's an exhibition, so
no, it's a professional fight.
That's a
what? Oh, you talking about Mayweather shit? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you. Man,
but Jake got what's that dude that Makabu and Badu Jack as the co-main.
Listen,
everybody,
that's a real fight. That's a real fight.
But yeah, that's a real fight. Because remember when everybody was saying when we were like, "Who the fuck is Makabu?" when Canelo was trying to fight him, and people were trying to defend, "Oh, he's a champion. Oh, he's this, he's that. He's a good fight." And then this must be a good fight too.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I just feel like when the sideshow gets paid more than the main event, or when the sideshow gets paid more than this real show, then that's a problem for me, man. Like these guys.
All that matters is who puts asses in seats, dog. Who are people paying to see?
I think that's good issue for me. But no, I think that'll be. I think the second fight is a good fight, but the main event, I can't support it. As a pugilist, I just can't support it. That's just it. It is what it is.
I mean, as a pugilist.
What about as a cop?
What the fuck?
What about as a cop?
What the fuck does that even mean, though? That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, y'all act like he's a fucking he can't box. He can box.
Yeah, but he's still a sideshow, and he's not fighting. He's not fighting fighters that he needs to.
Bro, I have never seen I've never seen a professional boxer criticized so much for under his first 10 fights ever in my fucking life, dog.
Man,
I've never seen.
Who is that?
Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul. Okay.
I mean,
how do you feel about Jake Paul, Scotty?
I mean, he's about to step in there with his first boxer, right?
Yep.
So his first boxer within the age limit of not being considered over the hill or past his prime. Everything else before then, he fought antiquated fighters such as Ben Askren, Tyrone Woodley. We ain't gonna mention Nate Robinson. He was a basketball player. But I mean, come on, the athletic standpoint, he deserved the criticism he was getting, man. Real talk, he deserved the shit.
But does he though, compared to a lot of professional fighters' first 5 fights, they were fighting debuts, 0-2s, 0-7s.
Correct.
Like, it's the same shit.
You was right. It was somewhat the same shit, but we're talking about Jake Paul himself being heralded from a YouTube standpoint to a professional boxing ring, and they're putting all this hype behind him, like he's gonna be the next cruiserweight champion. And he was fighting old dudes, like real old dudes. Tyrone Woodley was done. Ben Askren had a hip replacement. You know,
and he's fighting people that's already aged out of their own sport.
Okay, like, but peep this though. But here's another difference though, right? Is Jake Paul doesn't have an amateur background, got off the couch and started boxing, and then just became professional. Like some of these other boxers that we don't criticize when their first 5 fights are nobodies, aka Canelo, they've been fighting forever and then they go professional. So they have hundreds of fucking amateur fights, and their first 5 fights are still dudes that no one's fucking heard of, have never won a fucking fight, and some of them have never stepped in the ring themselves. So I think the criticism is that he's getting money doing this shit. Where the other
he had money. He had money.
No, I'm saying he's selling pay-per-views. Yeah, with his build-ups. A lot of people don't sell pay-per-views with their build-up fights.
So this is how I feel. I feel one, he's selling demos. He's like on the block selling demos. People keep buying it, and it's messing up the thing with real fighters that we want to see fight, and we're not seeing them fight. I think if we were seeing the actual boxers,
we're not fighting. They're not fighting no way though.
I know, but
they're not fighting no way.
Listen. I'm shooting him some cake. I think if we were seeing the fights that we really wanted to see from real boxers, then possibly he wouldn't get much slack as he does. But if he's out here selling demos, like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm a boxer, I'm the best boxer, I'm this guy, I'm this great fighter, and we know that you're just honing your skills because we can see that you're getting better. I see it, yes, he's getting better. But he still hasn't learned to get that foot outside yet, to get his punch placement. He still hasn't done that. He still hasn't learned how to get off the line yet. But you're now selling pay-per-views and you're running your mouth and you're just doing demos. I can't get with it.
Well, listen, after he beats Tommy Fury, what they gonna say now?
What they gonna say then?
I mean, Tommy Fury ain't nobody.
Tommy is a
What more do y'all want from the man? Y'all saying he facing a real boxer?
They want him to fight my.
No, look. I used to be extremely critical of Jake Paul. I used to be extremely critical of Jake Paul until I went around and asked about 10 to 12 boxers. I said, how you feel about this guy coming into your sport, getting paid money that you probably may not make in your career? And they said they didn't have a problem with it. So with that said, I just looked at it and I digressed a bit from actually criticizing him and Logan for kind of like coming into the sport using their YouTube privilege to jump the line and be on pay-per-view and have these sorts of fights and get paid that type of money. That's the situation. They're getting paid the type of money that a fighter that was with that experience level below 10 fights, they wouldn't get paid that amount of money. Lomachenko didn't even get paid that amount of money. You know, they tried to give him a title fight. They did give him a title fight, his second professional recorded fight. So
I will say, I think Logan is different than Jake. I think Logan does just come in and get a bag. Doesn't, just more exhibition, more like putting on a show. But I think Jake, from what you hear
Logan
from the
has
fighters,
never won a professional fight before.
Never. Right, but he makes money just stepping in the ring because he's fucking Logan Paul. But I think Jake actually takes shit serious. He actually trains. He's actually in the gym. He's in gyms with other fighters, even fighters who doubted him before they sparred him or before they got in the gym. Like, oh shit, wait, this motherfucker really takes this shit serious. Now, whether he's going to be a champ or not, the way the boxing champions go, I think they'll get some type of belt on him. I don't know if it'll be a legitimate belt, but I think they're going to get some type of sanctioned belt around his waist and cruiserweight, which is, it'll be something like one of the belts get fucking vacated and then he'll fucking fight a dude that's on a 2-fight losing streak for it, like a Yildirim or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it's going to be an interim. You don't think it'll be an interim, something like that?
Yeah.
Like, Mauricio seems adamant about trying to get him a title.
Hey,
he is.
Let's keep it real.
Mauricio's a scumbag.
If y'all can name somebody besides Lawrence Okolie Who the hell else is at cruiserweight? Like a noticeable guy. Like only person I,
Nobody.
No,
only
they
person I
ain't. They
can
ain't
think
looking
of.
for a noticeable guy. They just looking for anybody that
Yeah.
has a belt. Like Macabo. Macabo was an easy target for. I thought Canelo would have went up there and picked up that WBC, but he looked bad. Macabo ended up looking bad against his opponent. They said, "Nah, we're gonna leave that alone," because Canelo's coming up out of here with a fifth division. Period. He ain't retiring until he get a fifth division on his belt.
Damn. Yeah. That's what he's striving for. So
He's gonna get a belt at cruiserweight. Watch what I tell you. Canelo gonna get a fifth division.
I don't see, like, it's getting to the point now. I understood early, but it's getting to the point now. I don't see what more Jake Paul has to do, because he listens to the criticism. He tried, like, he had big ass 20-minute promotion videos trying to fight an actual boxer because that's what everybody wants to see. And then fucking Rockman fucking does what he does. Tommy does what he does. You know what I'm saying? That was like a whole year wasted trying to get a real boxer in there. On a level, obviously. But so now it's like, okay, he got Tommy Fury, and it's like, Tommy ain't that good, but Tommy had everything everyone wanted. He was young, he's just as big, if not bigger. He has an amateur background, and he's a professional boxer that's undefeated. Like, whether he only has 8 fights. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And that's a good one to start your boxing, quote unquote, fighting boxers with. You start with Tommy Fury. Like, you went from your MMA, you went from every fight he stepped up at least one level of competition.
Hey,
I just think his MMA guys. I think Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley, those 3 fight with fixed fights. I stand on that.
I don't think anyone volunteers to get their ass knocked the fuck out on their face like that, man.
Oh, absolutely, because Tyron Woodley went through a divorce and everything. He needed the money, and he definitely went in the UFC.
Okay, so why wouldn't you just take a fucking body shot and go down, or take like a good headshot and kind of be, oh, he wobbled me, got me? Why would you go to sleep on your face?
Okay, I explained it to you. Okay, the first fight he had with freaking Ben Askren, right? It was down here in Atlanta on Triller, right? So I'm up there. I'm as close as you can get to the fight. I'm looking. So I look at the finisher. He knocked him out with the knockout shot, the same shot that Tyron Woodley was knocked out with in their rematch. The exact same knockout. Check this out. Him and Ben Askren are really good friends and stablemates. Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, same exact punch, same exact look. Everything. See, the one thing people overlook about the way Jake Paul went about the rematch with Tyron Woodley is that he used Tommy Fury's name to carry the fight, knowing that Tyron Woodley was going to get a rematch. But they didn't want to build it up as a rematch with Tyron Woodley because they went the distance, because nobody wanted to see that shit. But they was trying to figure it out. So they pulled Tommy Fury out at the last minute and brought Tyron Woodley back in for a rematch, and they had to have some crazy ass closer. So that's when he twitched his right hand and goddamn knocked his ass out. But look, everybody that was there say freaking Tyron Woodley made it back to the press conference before Jake Paul did, and he was talking to everybody, no problem. He wasn't on the stretcher.
That happens a lot, though. We see that shit all the time. Boxing dudes get knocked down, still do an interview after it.
Like who?
No. But when you literally get knocked out, your body shuts down. When you get knocked out and your body shuts down, it takes you a while to even get reacclimated because your legs are still loose, your brain is still foggy and groggy. It's a difference between getting shocked and put down.
He was knocked out cold the way it looked from on TV.
And when that's when
he definitely was.
That's one of those things where they hit. That's when your brain, the signal gets cut out from your brain to your body. And
look, it goes. Okay, go ahead, bro.
So you don't think he can recover in 30 minutes to wake up and at least be coherent? The press conference
I'm not really talking about coherency, 100% coherency. I'm looking at following Tyron Woodley ever since he was over at Strikeforce. Tyron Woodley in his losses, Tyron Woodley wasn't getting knocked out. The only time he got knocked out by Nate Marquardt because he didn't have a school. He was almost self-training himself. So when he was over there, he transitioned over to the UFC. He started getting with a team. His losses came via injury or submission. They wasn't knocking him out like that. Like Tyron Woodley had a respected beard on him. He did. All his losses that was in the UFC, they wasn't knocking him out like that. They wasn't. So for Jake Paul to come over here and do it the way he did it, it was unrealistic in my opinion. because the first fight he went the distance. That's realistic. But when he just stood up there with his left hand down and let Jake Paul get a clean one, I was like, man, hell no. That's nah, not at all, Shawty.
Hey, what weight class is underneath of what AB about to fight at? Is that super? That's super lightweight, right?
Hey,
Super
but
lightweight,
why
right?
can't it be that Jake Paul is learning boxing instead of fucking trap for him? Because he faked the body shot and went up top. Because he was hitting with his body, because Tyrone kept his hands high pretty much the whole fight. I mean,
In the
I don't know.
rematch or
And
the
you say he
first
caught
fight?
him with the same fight in the rematch. Because the
That
rematch
was in the
pretty
rematch.
boring. The rematch was boring as fuck
But that's the problem
until that
with
moment.
these fights aren't supposed to be seen. Like this is the problem when you have a guy inexperienced fighters like this in boxing. You don't see these fights. They come on before the TV comes on. They come on before the arena gets warm. Like
Nah,
so,
not if you a big
no.
name already, bro. That's
But that's the
I mean,
problem. Man.
put this way. Look.
That goes back to
If
the
if
problem.
if motherfucking Dwayne Johnson decided I'm gonna put on a pair of gloves and go fight, it's gonna sell out pay per view the same fucking way, even if you don't know how to
But you
fucking
can't.
fight.
But then that's why I
If
go
it's
back.
non
This
if
is
it's
an
non-tested,
exhibition. This
Yeah,
is an
for
exhibition.
sure. No, test it. And that was another thing. People are like, "Oh, Jake Paul on some shit." He said, "Fuck it, let's test." Like every criticism people have had, he's answered or tried to answer.
well, I'll tell you
Like I
like this,
don't.
brother. All respect. Triller wasn't drug testing. Let's get that straight.
No, they weren't.
Triller,
They weren't.
Triller
Mike
wasn't
Tyson
drug
came out and
testing.
said it. Mike Tyson
Yeah,
said
Mike
it.
Tyson
He's
said
never been drug tested.
Mike Tyson was smoking like heavy before he came out and fought Roy Jones. Come on, everybody know that. So Triller wasn't testing, bro.
I think he didn't get tested until he
For sure he wasn't.
Floyd.
For sure he wasn't.
I think he was only got tested fighting Floyd. But back to about real boxing real quick.
We're talking about real
What about
boxing. We're talking about
somebody?
professional boxers combo.
What about somebody coming up to fight AB in that fight? Because I think that might be.
Bro, why the fuck are we still talking about AB, dog? See, this is what I'm talking about.
Because I
Y'all
want to see
motherfuckers
him
talk
with an
about
opponent.
motherfuckers that ain't fought for years, but you gonna gloss over someone that's been fighting and selling pay-per-views on every platform just because I don't like them. But
Hey,
I
got a lot more respect.
50 million times.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I got a lot more respect for Jake Paul. Jake Paul, not his brother Logan. I got respect for
not
Logan because him and KSI the one that set this off with the YouTube, the Vine creators,
With their
and what
own
they've been able
pay-per-view.
and what they've been able to do is get that hydration, that water deal with the WWE and freaking UFC. Now that's genius. The way they brought that Prime drink in there, and they're making crazy amount of money. For Jake Paul, he has MVP Promotions, and he's doing his sponsorship. He signed with PFL to be an influencer over there, MMA. You know what I'm saying? These Paul brothers are doing it big, man.
He has fighters signed to him.
Yeah, he has fighters signed to him, and dudes are getting sponsorships. Like Jake Paul is signed to PFL, bro. They getting the bag now. Not just that, they getting a position to make decisions.
And Jake Paul's trying to change the fucking
I'm
game,
saying the
bro. He's
fighters
getting
getting the
motherfuckers
bag.
paid. He's trying to start a union. He's trying to do all the
But
shit for
listen,
fighters
but
that we've been
listen.
asking for.
Listen,
Yeah.
but if the first thing that comes out your mouth is about money, then what is it about? It's not about boxing.
I mean, if you're a
Bro, it's
professional,
prize
that should be the
fighting.
first thing on your
Prize
mind,
fighting,
dog.
bro.
But
Listen,
everybody don't have that Jake Paul privilege though to mention money first. It
Well,
just
exactly.
don't happen like
I'm gonna
that.
tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. And Scotty, me and you have talked to millions of boxers, millions of them, and told them what they need to do to get to a certain level, and they haven't done it. They haven't tried to do it. So it's like you can't get mad at the man for seeing the lane, getting into it, and capitalize on it. When the boxers have the same opportunity to do the same thing. Tank is one of the most polarizing figures. He won't even talk. He won't even do a Instagram live.
Well, no, it's
That's
actually
true.
different because this individual came from a marketing and
No, it
came from
don't.
a fan
It
base.
don't. It don't.
Hold on, hear me
Listen,
out.
bro.
Hear me out.
Let-
Hear me
All right,
out.
go ahead.
Hear me out. Someone like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they already had a market. They already had viewers. They already had a brand. They just took their brand and moved it into another space. Someone
That
like
was smart.
So hold
Okay,
on, I
I
got
got
you.
it. Okay.
Hold on. But then you
Yeah,
said,
go ahead, go ahead.
someone like, let's say, an up and coming boxer like Kid Austin. He has to sign with a promotion company to do exactly what they already can do for themselves is promote themselves. he has to have someone that comes in and gives them media training, because these guys have already had media training or self-media training through the time that they spent on selling themselves with Disney and these kids and all that. So it's
But what
going to
else
be
is they
completely
doing
different.
outside of?
But here's a question I have:
What about Ryan
why
Garcia?
motherfuckers hating on dudes that got their shit
Max,
together, bruh?
Max, what
Why
about
people hating on dudes that got their shit together? It's just like any celebrity that gets their own liquor, bruh. We know why these dudes get their own liquor, because they're already stars. They didn't really sit down and figure out how to make liquor from the ground up and put in all the work to make liquor. They're just fucking a star and they put their name on some shit. They get in the game, they make money.
I understand it, but that was just my response.
What
to
about
you
Ryan
said.
Garcia though? What about
He's
Ryan
an anomaly,
Garcia though?
but is he not an anomaly?
No,
Yeah,
but
he's
see,
an anomaly, bro.
That's the reason why he's an anomaly is because he fucking listens. I mean, he's an anomaly because he's actually doing that shit.
And
Hey,
he had to promote.
Hey, Kyle,
But
you
he
were there
also
that
had
day.
the
I
promotion
told Bill
company
Haney
who
the
does
same
it.
shit, brother. He needs to do more with Devin because social media is free. It's free promotion. You don't got to pay nobody to do it. I mean,
Correct.
you might have to pay a manager.
But he probably took
manage
what you
accounts,
said. He probably took what you said. What you go by? Is Mexican or what? What you go
Yeah,
by,
Mex.
bro?
Mex.
Mex. So, hey, you're right. I said the same thing back in the day. I said, he need to do more. But what he did was he put himself out there more than actual Devin Haney being out here. Devin's the fighter.
Facts.
So if Devin was out here doing a little bit more, then it would be. I don't know. You got to have a thing, because when we talk about Teofimo Lopez, Teo can talk in front of the camera. This is the only fighter to be signed with Bud Light and Essential Water, dog. Come on, how did that happen, bro? How did Teofimo Lopez get signed up and get a sponsorship with Bud Light? How did he come out there, the 50 Cent song? I mean, he's doing big things behind the scene, bro. He got the sponsorship behind him.
But he also had the promotion company before that to help guide him and breed him. It's not
Top
like
Rank didn't help him get that Bud Light shit.
But they gave him a blueprint and a structure to follow. I
don't know, man. There's plenty of cats that been signed with Top Rank that ain't did nothing with their career.
You're right.
And this
But
is what I'm
without Top
saying.
Rank matchmakers, would his career been what it was?
How you know it wouldn't have been?
Hey, you know what? I think in a roundabout way, Jake Paul can bring back boxing and this is a longer game plan, but think about it this way. If he encourages other YouTubers or other celebrities in general to professionally pursue this shit, and then it makes all these other motherfuckers mad, the only way to shut them up is start beating their ass. So if all these celebrities start getting their ass whooped doing this shit, then people will fall back and be like, oh shit, yeah, they ain't real boxers. Yeah, the real boxers really getting it. But right now, it's like he's winning. In every aspect, he's winning.
They winning, but other celebrities have to be important enough, and boxing has to know who they are. Like, let's be real. Like, how many of those celebrities that's on the silver screen gonna come over here and get their ass whooped by a YouTube turned boxer? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's gonna do that? Is it some basketball, football players that can do this shit?
It's like
You know-
it's like the big three versus
Greg Hardy
one.
got to do bare knuckle.
The big three.
Hey,
Okay, Greg Hardy is an exception to the rule, bro. Greg Hardy's always been pretty much crazy, and that's why that's why he didn't last too long in the UFC, because he just wanted to go out there and black out.
Fight bare knuckle, bro. Who the fuck is trying to stand in front of Greg Hardy bare knuckle, dog?
Hey, he fights tonight. Let's see how he does it. He fights
Oh, that
tonight.
is tonight, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Hey,
So he
Scotty.
fights tonight.
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah.
And Diego Sanchez versus Austin Trout tonight too, on the same card.
Hey, you do know that Nate Robinson asked for that ass whooping. You know what I mean? He called Jake Paul out, so he deserved the ass whooping he got.
Every single person Jake has fought has asked for it.
Or
Yeah,
every single person Jake has fought knew how to sell, was an entertainer and knew how to sell the fight as well. I'm not hating on Jake.
Yeah.
I'm just saying looking at things in different angles and not just running down one narrative of this guy's a savior.
Every single person he's been in the ring with called him out. He just answered the call.
And you got to respect that, because that's what we want boxers to do. It's like call them out.
You're correct.
Answer
You're
the bell.
correct.
I mean, it was. I don't know about that. I don't know about everybody calling him out, bro. That Tyrone Woodley situation was fixed anyway, because when they was down here at Triller in Atlanta, you can see the shit was gonna happen, because they put Jalen Love and Tyrone Woodley on camera having a conversation, and Jalen said, "Hey, you know nothing about this boxing." And I told people, I said, that's going to be the next fight right there. I guarantee you, because Ben Askren is teammates with Tyrone Woodley. I guarantee you that's the next
Yeah,
fight. Sure
yeah,
enough, that was the next fight.
you're right about that because they also used Askren training with Woodley as like
Yeah.
pretty much like Woodley's gonna teach him how to beat him, and then when Askren lost, it was kind of like get your big homie. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
go
saying?
get your big homie and let's go.
He's fighting these people who don't understand boxing because you see what he
But-
did with
But
Rock.
once again,
Right?
when
No,
Jake
no,
Paul
no, no.
did
You
beat
see
Ben
what he did
Askren,
with Rock?
Tyron Woodley said he wanted next. It was Jake Paul didn't call him out. Woodley called him out.
And he went the distance though. He went the distance.
He did, which is the
So
only
so
reason
how
there
you
was a
gonna go the
rematch.
distance one fight and then turn around and you leave your left hand down, say, okay, it's
Hey.
time. Come on, bang.
Well, it was a different style of fight the second time around, and if anyone knows, all good fighters do way better in the rematches.
All
So-
good fighters. So you comparing Jake Paul to be a good fighter that quick to someone who's a what 6-time world
on
champion?
that level of
a
competition?
6-time world champion, dog. Tyrone
On
was a
that level of
6-time world
competition?
champion, bro.
In
Max,
UFC
Max.
though, he had the option.
Yeah.
He had the option if he ever got rocked or hit too much. He had the option of wrestling.
But
He had
you're
the option
talking
of
about
punching.
boxing being 3 minutes around and the UFC being 5 minutes around. His boxing IQ to move around and stay safe is always there. Like it'll never leave him, especially in there with a fighter who haven't got to that level yet. Jake
But
Paul
the
don't
way-
know how to maneuver and
But the
use
way
that
he used
time
to
up
stay
like that.
safe
And that's
was
exactly
to
what I
clinch and
just-
wrestle.
But listen, just like I said, Adrian Broner IQ is what's going to have to lead him into his further years in his career, just like Bernard Hopkins did. When he's fighting when Jake Paul's fighting these other fighters, he's taking advantage of them having a low IQ or low ability. He's not fighting a threat. He's not fighting someone that has the same ability, same athleticism, same
He is now.
still spring.
He is now.
Is he? Is he really?
I
Yeah.
don't
But
think
no,
Tommy
if his
Fury has
if his
that.
last name wasn't Fury, he would have never made it out of the ballroom.
Hey Max, check this
Okay.
out. Let's anybody pull up that Tommy Fury's. Come on now, Tommy Fury's last 5 opponents, man. Like
If his
He ain't
last
fought
name
nobody.
wasn't- If his last
So that's
name
what I'm saying. They're
wasn't Fury,
equal. They both
but
ain't
that's what
fought
I'm saying.
nobody. They're both about
that
equal
shit look like an
athleticism,
old
equal
can of
size.
sardines, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. If his last name wasn't Fury, he wouldn't have made it out the ballroom.
Oh, he wouldn't have. Absolutely.
Yo, I just
agree.
think it's crazy that motherfuckers criticize this, but don't want to criticize the Broner shit that's happening, dog. And
No, I
it's
criticize
just so
it all.
he ain't fighting
but-
nobody either.
I criticize it all, but he's not saying he's not fighting nobody either. He's
Jay
not
Paul
saying,
is
hey,
not a 4-weight world champion either, dog. Come on now.
no,
He ain't a champion as shit, dog.
AB isn't saying AB isn't selling demos though. Like you
Yeah,
know
but
what you're getting.
But
This
y'all
gonna
over
be
here
some
just
more
reminiscing
stuff.
on his glory days, brother. Motherfucker ain't been in the ring for 3 years.
I got you. I understand that. And hence
Like,
why
I understand
said-
he's a likable dude. He can sell fights. He got a cool mouthpiece. He's a people's champ type of situation. But you got to be like realistic about it. One dude's actually fighting, actually selling pay-per-views and putting on, and the other dude came back.
Okay.
AB
so
already
listen,
been there,
hold on.
done that, bro.
Hold on,
AB
real
already
quick.
been there, done that.
When has AB
quick.
ever put on for
What
someone
is-
else other than AB?
No, hold on. Have we
What
seen
you mean
him
he put on
lose and
Tank?
come- Hold on. Have we
He
seen
put
him
Tank
lose
on.
and come back?
He gave
Have
Tank
we
money?
Bro, he
Have
brought
we seen-
Tank on,
Because
bro.
Jake Paul out here cashing motherfuckers out.
He
Even when the
did.
fight
No,
gets
no,
canceled,
no.
he giving them
He
50%
put a
of their
few-
purse.
Okay.
Like,
if
no
we
one's
go
doing that
AB
shit in boxing,
If we go
period.
AB already admitted, a lot of fighters admitted they was found by AB and they just got AB just didn't have his shit stuff together, so he had to send him over the floor. Tank was
Because
one
he
of
was in his
fighters,
career. Correct.
yeah.
He was in his
No.
career.
I
He's more
agree that
concerned about his
AB
career.
I think Earl- I
put
think
people
he
in
got
position
Earl
to go
too.
get
He got
money from
Earl.
someone else. I said, when has he done it himself? Jake Paul's coming out of his own fucking pocket paying people. He's putting people.
That's
Everything
his-
he's done for all the
that's
fighters
his
connected to him. There hasn't been
That's
one
his
fight. It's the
promoter.
opposite. He's the opposite of Al Heyman. As a
And let's
promoter.
be honest.
promoter, though.
Let's be honest, Max. You miss an important, intricate layer to Jake Paul. If you're gonna boost this man up, don't act like they got it out the mud like AB. Let's not play that game. Let's not play that. Jake
But they
Paul
did,
and
though.
Logan Paul didn't get it out the mud. Their parents
They did,
was
though.
their parents was wealthy. No, their parents was wealthy.
No,
bro.
Look, here's the difference, though.
Their parents was wealthy, bro.
And this is what I don't agree with, right? So AB put a lot of time and effort in the gym, a lot of training, a lot of hours, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to become where he became. The Paul brothers did too. It just wasn't in the gym. They put a lot of hours on YouTube. They put a lot of hours doing shit that no one else was doing at the time they were doing it, and that's why they became big. They
Okay,
both put in equal
I
work.
mean, I feel
to
you.
get-
I
get
feel
to
you.
where it's at.
It's a huge sacrifice when you
when
when you have a
AB
job being
when
goofy.
A- okay,
when
hold
you
on,
get
when
a
AB
when you have a
crosses
job
over-
acting goofy,
when
that
AB
take a lot of
crosses over-
sacrifice.
Oh, hold on.
He's
When
a
AB
promoter,
crosses
he's
over
fighting.
as a boxer and goes into battle rap, or as a boxer and maybe wants to go into acting or rapping, Motherfuckers don't tell them, oh, you didn't put in hella years in this shit. You can't just
Yes,
come
they
over here
do.
because you're a
They
famous
did.
boxer and
But
do this
but,
shit.
but
Rappers
the Paul
don't.
brothers didn't get it out the
Rappers
mud though. They just got it off the
rappers
silk
did.
sheets. They mother prepared for them. Their bed was
Hold on,
nice and
hold on.
plush.
Nah,
Them silk
see,
sheets
I
felt
don't like
good
this
when they
shit.
went
I
to
hate
sleep
how
at night.
people
I got a
hate.
question.
I hate
Lex,
how
I got
people
a
hate
question.
that people take care of their fucking kids.
I don't.
bro.
I
You
don't
supposed
dislike.
to
I
put
don't
your kids
dislike
on,
them, bro.
dog.
They getting their
And there's a
bag.
lot of
I
rich
salute
ass
them.
kids that get money
That's
and
right.
Can I
don't
ask
do
a question?
shit with it and
Can I
blow the
can I
bag
ask a
and end up
question?
on drugs and don't do shit. So if
I
your
got
parents
you.
can
Can I
give you
ask
an
you a question?
investment and you can take that and flip that shit, then you a real hustler regardless of how
Okay,
we see
well,
it.
let's bring it back to boxing. Let me ask you this question: what's Jake Paul fighting style, or who you want to go, Jake or Logan? What's their style of fighting?
Logan's like a WWE motherfucker. I
What
don't
is his
consider him a real boxer.
fighting style? Okay, so go Jake. What is his boxing style?
I don't know. He's had a couple different styles, but he's fighting. But I mean, it's a small sample size.
No.
So I don't know.
What is his? So when we look at fighters, right? You look at, let's say, AB. What's AB fighting style?
What do you mean, like style? Like slick? I don't know. Slick, don't let his hands go. Defensive. Used to be explosive.
Defensive counterpuncher, slick fighter, right? Back foot. Not had the ability to be explosive, but lost it after the fight with I don't want to say Manganami. How do you say his name, right? You could say that. You could rattle all that off when you say what's his fighting style. Now you say, and I'm gonna ask you, WCS. What's Jake's fighting style?
I wouldn't even
Whatever it
categorize his
takes to
fighting
win.
style. He has like a brawling mentality. He has like a brawling mentality. Whenever he chooses to let his hands go, he'll just wing and ding. You know what I'm
Just winging.
saying?
Okay. With that being said, he's not a fighter. You're not a boxer if you don't even have a style that we can tie to you. Even the drunken master, as awkward as was, Augustine, he still had a style, right? It still came out of a blueprint, came out of a style that you can game plan for. And you know how you get a style? By honing it and getting better and better and better. So he may be a front foot downhill puncher, brawler, fighter, but he hasn't put the time in.
Wait. Combo, is he not getting better and better every fight?
He is, but he's not fighting. He's getting we're getting excited about sparring. Like these people used to be sparring, not people used to be fighting. This may be the closest thing to an actual fighter that he has fought, but what he's been doing is using his money and his publicity to and his knowledge of the game against the people who don't know the game. Look, you see Rush Fighter Rockman fight didn't go through because a fighter who's really came through the ranks and knows and stuff's like, come on, man, you trying to drain me down? All right, you know what? I pay the penalties, I do this and this and this, and we still make this fight. No, I need to drain you down. I need this type of advantage.
Are you talking about the same guy?
Welcome to boxing, homie. Welcome to boxing.
Hey, I can't look. I am no way, shape, or form feeling some type of way about the way the Paul brothers is making bag off boxing. Why? Because nobody took the time to try to regulate this sport. So long as the sport is unregulated, don't act like we're gonna get some regulation internal to the sport. It's never gonna happen. So everybody's gonna be able to eat. Everybody. I like to see Logan Paul in WWE over there jumping off the top rope, making his money. I like to see the fact he linked up with KSI, who was the first fight over there with Eddie Hearns, and man, they did great numbers. And then they joined together to put that sponsorship water, that prime sponsorship water. Now they seen on the canvas of the UFC and over there in WWE. I have no problem with them making money. I'm just saying Adrian Broner earned his way different than Jake Paul at this point in his career. If you take the fights of Adrian Broner at that point in time, and you take the fights of where Jake Paul at right now, and Adrian Broner got that shit from the bottom of the bricks, man, for real. But I'm not mad at the Paul brothers at all for them being able to, take advantage of the system. I ain't mad at that shit. They doing big things. I just feel like whoever was talking earlier, Kyle, who said these fighters are not taking the opportunity to put themselves out there because they want to be cool and they don't want to damn talk to the media. It's gonna hurt you, bro. It's gonna hurt you. Period.
I've never seen a 26-year-old with 6 fights get so much criticism in his career ever in my life. And since we're talking about AB, I pulled up his box rec. His first 6 fights were all losing record guys. Debut 0-1, 2-2-1, 4-11-2, 3-6-1, and 1-1. And that 1-1 was a no contest. So in his first 6 fights, he wasn't fighting nobody either.
But who was he signed to back then? You know, was they pushing him like that? Was he known? Jake Paul them coming here and at 26-year-old, down they starting to transition over to boxing, but people already know them from YouTube Vine creators. They was YouTubers. They didn't know Adrian Broner from the streets. They didn't know anything about him with those amount of fights.
Disney, YouTube, all that.
They didn't know anything about Adrian Broner coming over to boxing. He didn't have that foundation to come over here with that background from freaking Disney and all that. They did not have that, bro. That's all I'm saying. They didn't have it.
But that's not anyone's fault, like, at all. You know what I mean?
I'm
like,
not saying it's a fault.
Because here's the thing, though.
It's the reality.
It's
reality, bro.
With that personality, Adrian Broner could have did the same shit. He could have been a mass YouTuber talking mad shit, a battle rapper or some shit, but he got hands. So I'm looking at it the other way. If Adrian Broner maybe didn't spend his whole life doing some shit, he probably would still have hands. So if he was another actor, rapper, or something like that, and he decided, hey, I want to start boxing, I wouldn't criticize him the same way. My thing is, if you get in there and get your ass knocked out, then you learn, hey, maybe I'm not good at boxing. But so far,
but his environment didn't allow him to be a part of that. His environment didn't allow him to be a part of something. You answer, you proving my point. He didn't come from the background and the foundation of the Jake Paul and Logan Paul brothers. No, you keep saying who fault it is. I'm just telling you what reality presented itself. Reality is presented itself, bro. It's reality. That's
but what's what I'm talking about.
That's just how he was raised. I'm not using it as a crutch, bro. I'm not using it as a crutch. I'm just saying that's the reality.
Hypocrisy, though. Y'all say, okay, well,
there's no hypocrisy with me, bro. It's no hypocrisy because I'm not contradicting myself. It's no hypocrisy.
Y'all say Jake and Logan didn't get it from the mud because they had rich parents that put them in positions. And then
that's
at the
facts.
same time, be like, well, damn, Adrian Broner didn't have parents to put him in positions, so he got to get it out the mud. Well, it's on both parents.
But Max, Jake and Paul isn't the only fighter or isn't the only person that claims to be a boxer that has the same criticism.
Who?
Devin Haney goes through the same criticism. But no one, I don't see somebody up in arms. Well, it's not his fault that his father was a music promoter or whatever the hell he had.
Correct.
Hey, listen, KSI does the same thing Jake Paul does with way less criticism.
All Jake Paul is doing, and listen, this is me agreeing with you. All Jake Paul is doing is what we would have wanted to see PBC do, and what they was trying to do on Floyd's back. But the problem that we're having is that with me, and I'm only going to speak about myself, I love boxing. I fucking bled that shit. I've been knocked out. I've went through that dumb shit, the tournaments, all that shit. So to watch somebody else come in and what looks like a mockery to me because you know what comes out. Like, you know, it's some gems. The way he looking, he wouldn't even been in the ring yet.
Hey, listen, man. Jealousy doesn't look good on you, my boy.
It's not jealousy.
I understand, Combo. You have more of a personal connection because you went through a grind to try to get somewhere. But here's a point that I have.
But see, you gotta understand when they can turn professional too. The age that they can turn professional. Adrian Broner was getting it out the mud long before Jake and Logan decided to make it a sport of boxing. They was there going to the amateur tournaments. They was then putting in the sacrifice hours and all that shit. So when they finally turned professional, they didn't have the monetary backing to go over here
see, y'all
and get that shine.
Y'all about to make my point for me, right? So all these fighters that come up through the mud, they go through the amateur rankings, they go through tournaments, they have hundreds of fights.
I'm just talking about AB, bro. I'm just talking
about in general, boxing in general, right? Like most of the time, most of the time you go through some type of amateur process, something like that, before you go professional. So that means people have fighting experience in boxing. They went through the grind, they went through the mud, the blood, sweat, and tears, right? And in their first 6 fights, they still get built up, even though they have fighting experience, but somehow we're criticizing a motherfucker that got no fighting experience, and they're building him up. We want to see him thrown in with the wolves right away. We want to see him thrown in with
You're leaving out the money.
So, all right, y'all hate that I bring these people up, but look at Antoine Russell. He fought in the Olympics. His fights is just making it to the television. He's still fighting on cards, and he's not even on the main undercard. He's just a fighter on the card.
See, but
you got somebody like
hold on, Combo, because you bringing up this. How often do you see Gary Antoine on YouTube, Instagrams, and things like that. How often do you see that? How often?
Never.
He stays.
Never.
No. Actually,
Damn
he
near
stays
never.
on Instagram. No, he stays on his Instagram. He's always dancing and shit like that. But yeah, he stays and you see him in there
I
training.
mean, they
you see him
just do
working out,
little training clips,
little
dog.
personal
You
things.
know.
Yeah. They don't have, but they don't have a marketing behind him. But guess what? This guy's a promoter, so he's promoting himself. That's the like. I got.
And
it.
that's why
he
he's
broke the
smart,
code.
bro.
He broke the code. It's a business for him, and when he walks away, he's gonna walk away taking from the business of
It's
the
a
sport.
it's a business from everybody's angle. It's
No,
a business
Facts.
period. Yes, it is.
It's a business for everybody. I totally agree with that because boxing is unregulated, bro. Everybody can eat off boxing. It's just right now the Paul brothers are doing it a lot easier than most people. You know what I'm saying? That's put in more time and effort in years. They are putting in. They're able to cross over because boxing left those doors open for decades.
I got you.
No, I mean you can't
but
be
when he
mad.
walks
You can't
away-
be mad like for
I
the
just-
Paul
I just-
brothers getting over the way they
But
getting
that's the
over.
other thing
I'm
too.
just
Like
looking-
they
I'm just looking in the
saw,
future.
like they knew right away, we're not signing with a promoter. They put on their own fucking pay-per-view. Because believe me, if Jake Paul was signed with some other motherfuckers, he probably wouldn't be getting the money he's getting. If he was signed with PBC or Matchroom or something like that, or Top Rank, maybe he'd be like a sideshow, but he decided to do it himself. So when you talk about getting out the mud, he kind of did because they put on their own pay-per-view.
Absolutely not, Max. Come on, Max, man.
Had a
You
proof of concept.
that statement is come on.
Listen,
That's
hey,
lunacy, bro. That's
They put
lunacy.
on their own pay-per-view.
That's lunacy, bro.
Jake Paul has put a pay-per-view on every platform available so far.
You trying
From
to talk about some
Showtime
rich
to
kids
TNT.
getting it out the mud, man? Come on, bro.
I got more respect for Ali Wash than I got for him. And Ali, yes, his name carries a lot of weight, but he's actually going through the ringer.
Hey, Jake will wash him.
I don't think so.
Jake Wash who?
Ali Wash. Or was it Wash Ali? How do you say it? Was it Ali Wash or Wash Ali? I forgot which one.
Nico Ali Wash.
Yeah, Nico. Yeah, Nico. So it's Ali Wash. Yeah.
Man, Nico Ali Wash will beat Jake Paul ass,
Beat
dog.
the shit out of him.
Man, I done seen damn near every one of Nico's fight in person. He will beat
And
the
he's
shit out of Jake Paul.
And he's getting better.
And he getting better too.
He's getting better and better. And
He changed trainers. He didn't dog his trainer. He changed trainers, and he said, "I just want some new eyes." So that's when you seen him going in there and not being touched as much as he was.
His last fight. Okay. I'm gonna say I didn't know he changed trainers, but I know he got a lot
Yeah.
better defensively.
Yeah, he
Okay.
changed trainers, man.
Okay, I didn't. So I follow Evan more than I follow him. I just I can't get over a light skinned Ali. It just doesn't make sense to me. Sorry. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, you gotta understand, how light skinned they look back then too. You know what I'm saying? With the women that he was messing with.
Yeah. I did look that up, right? So I had to look it up to figure that shit out. I was like, oh, I see. But back to the issue at hand. I feel this is the biggest problem I have with the Paul brothers. When they're done with boxing, they're going to leave nothing for the young man that loves this sport, that amateur. They're going to leave nothing behind for them. They're going to take, and boxing's going to be left with nothing.
I'm just curious to see. I'm just trying to see how wide of a scope that they're going to be able to extend MVP promotions and sponsorships. How are they going to be able to grow? How large can they be, the Paul brothers? Because Logan not so much is attached to the boxing aspect like Jake is. Jake is trying to be a boxer promoter.
Correct.
And so far
I
he's
think
doing
Jake is
pretty
taking it
decent
serious.
with
I think Jake
MVP
takes it
promotions.
serious.
But y'all,
Let's keep
Yeah.
it real. Logan
I
Paul's
think
a
both
bitch.
of
Jake
them.
Paul's
I
a
think
real
both of them are taking the business aspect of what they're doing
That's the
serious.
biggest- I'm talking about the fighter aspect. I think Jake is taking it serious.
Yeah, Jake Paul is taking it serious. Logan Paul in World Wrestling Entertainment. He's on cards. Like he's doing some of the big events over there. He's in the training facility learning how to wrestle.
Hey, but as far as their character
Wow.
as men, Logan Paul's a fucking bitch, and Jake Paul's a real one, and that's the difference between the two of them. Like Logan Paul has flip flopped on his stances on so much fucking shit, depending on who's paying him, and Jake has stayed pretty fucking solid on his stances on everything he's talked about. Because
Go ahead.
Logan Paul is over here fucking talking about like he don't think people should have free speech and all this other shit, bullshit like that. And Jake is like, hey, I don't like this motherfucker, but I don't agree with that shit. So everything Jake has done, I feel has shown like his character as a dude. He's being solid. He looks out for everyone else. He hasn't fucked no one over. You don't hear about any shady dealings or anything with him. In fact, you hear the total opposite of people that have been with these other promoters and they're like, yo, Jake treats us that fucking real good.
Yeah, he was one of the first people to come out and say PBC owed him money, you know, and Floyd say, I still owe money. They still owe me money for this fight. That's not how it works. I got you, right? But go back to what I said about them taking from boxing and leaving our young men, our amateurs, bone dry. What happens when you show up when you go to these amateur fights, in these tournaments, and the guy from your city or the guy that's from that city that this tournament is being held at shows up and you see his belt? You see Jamal Charlo or you see Earl Spence with their belt at the tournament. They talking like, hey, how you doing? You go through this tournament, you go through that tournament, you get the Pan Am, you get best fighter in this, you do this, you do that, and then you can get this. What happens when all that's out the picture when it's like, well, you go get on YouTube, you go on Instagram, you don't never got to fight, you ain't got to put in no work, just stack some money and then be like, and then go find some people you can beat up on.
Yeah, but that's not
until you get good.
That's not Jake Paul and his brother fault, though. You know,
sounds good to me.
The reason why Jake Paul and his brother are now as famous as they are is because y'all favorite fighters don't want to fight each other. They don't want to fight nobody.
Yeah. Hey, your audio's trash, dog.
Oh, my bad.
No, I got you. But I'm saying like where I stand at, what my problems are with. I can't say that, you know, listen, they seen the system, a flaw in the system, and they you know, they exploited it. That's what they do. They're business people. That's part of business. I got you. But I'm thinking about the fighters that's coming up. We're going to, just like we're losing fighters to UFC. Well, why would I do boxing? It looks boring. All I see on TV on Saturday is these guys kicking and rubbing on each other. I'm going to go do that. It's going to take away the luster from our young guys, our young men. Like I told y'all, I still remember meeting Holyfield in person. Even though I called him Mike Tyson, I still remember meeting Holyfield or Buster Douglas or Sugar Ray Leonard or fucking Tony and you know all these fighters. Like I remember meeting them.
How's the audio?
I'm 34.
I said, how's the audio? My audio.
Oh.
It's bad, bro.
Oh, let me log out.
It's like a lot of static.
You need like a different mic or something, man.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me?
Make sure your echo cancellation is off.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, no, you're good, Kyle. You're
All right.
you're a little light, but you're.
So you blaming the wrong people for boxing. You need to blame boxing. You keep talking about, oh, Jake Paul and his brother gonna take boxing and all this. Well,
No, I blame Floyd for this too.
boxing,
That's my biggest gripe with Floyd. That he took it away from the fighters and took it to the money. I understand that. I don't just hold Jake Paul in them at this.
You did. You just said they're gonna take the from the
I said
sport
I don't
and
just
they're gonna-
hold Jake Paul in this. I said this about Floyd multiple times.
You know what I feel? I feel Jake Paul doing the same thing Floyd doing. They making money off the sport. He doing the same thing.
The only thing I can respect about
I ain't seen
Floyd
too
is that
much
he
of him
actually
bringing
fight.
people up.
But the only thing I can say about Floyd is that, like I said, I can't stand Floyd for what he does, what he did to boxing. I always say this. I can't stand Floyd for what he did to boxing. But as a fighter, as a boxer, I can't disrespect him because the man got skills and he's smart. His ring
boxing operates in a system. Boxing is not just a single entity, bro. It's just a sport where you have competitors competing and all this shit. It's not like they need a single commission. They need a president. They need to organize this shit. You know what I'm saying?
That'll never happen. I agree
mean,
with you, but
it'll never happen. That's why people continue to bet on the sport. That's why you see fucked up fights being damn, just like we almost seen like the Johnny Rice situation in there with Guido. Guido's undefeated, and he's trying to sustain that motherfucking O, and he gets cut from a punch, but the referee turns around and say, oh, it was a headbutt, just out of nowhere, trying to fix the fight. I mean, as long as this shit keep going on with the third man in the ring, the commission, the judges, man, boxing is going to continue to look stupid.
it's
No, you're right. But you know what? The boxing has is somewhere. There's a structure for that in US called USA Boxing, which every amateur is under. And every
amateur
fighter in general, boxing, MMA, wrestling, everybody.
But it's even corruption in amateur fighting combo.
very much so.
No, it is. But
It's even more fucked up. It's even more fucked up in the amateurs than the professionals.
Way worse.
Yeah, but
I seen kids crying getting robbed.
The worst thing I seen was, you know, you know you won, and they'll mark your card as an L, even though they've raised your hand in the ring as a winner. Like I've seen that. Like I've had that happen to me. Like I won,
Amateurs is
but
fucked
then
up,
in my
man.
book,
Amateurs is
they put it down as a loss.
Hey, Combo, to go back to your point from earlier, so now we talking about amateur shit. If they robbing amateurs, there's corruption in amateurs, and these are kids most of the time, like teenage kids. And so you were talking about, well, what about the kids coming up that see Jake Paul and they think they could? I mean, what about the kids coming up and saying, hey, even if you're good in amateurs, you still might get fucked over if you ain't got the right connects.
And you know what you say? You know what we say? Next time, make sure they can't steal it from you. I'm coming back.
Yeah,
hard.
you gotta knock them out.
I'm coming back. Not even. I'm gonna be slicker. All those extra punches, and it makes you get better. You know what? Maybe it's the showboating I did. Maybe I dropped my hand too much. Maybe I allowed him to hit me too many times. It helps you increase your defense. It helps you get better at your skill and hone your craft, and it makes you hungry and angry, and it makes you come out and destroy everything in front of you. Now, I'm just saying that with that one, I'm just saying they got one organization. That's just one entity that can oversee it, and if they get them in there and to get them to tighten it up and get them to get on their shit or their stuff, I think something like that will help boxing, because then we will have one governing body, and then we can clean out the corruption of one governing body. You can't clean out no corruption if it's no governing body.
Yeah, but why do y'all?
Hey Cal, just right quick. Hey Cal, I'm gonna check out right quick. Thanks for having me on the panel, man. I'll definitely pull back up at another time.
Right,
hey fellas, enjoy your weekend.
On,
hey,
bro.
thanks for the discussion, man.
Hell yeah.
This is good.
Thanks for the discussion.
Hey, drop your link in the chat. Drop your link in the chat.
Nice meeting you, man.
Good,
Nice meeting you,
for
man.
real.
Nice conversation. Nice meeting you.
conversation.
Drop your link so we can follow and shit.
Yeah, I don't understand why y'all constantly blame the Paul brothers for their success, when their success is basically due to fighters not wanting to fight each other and promoters safeguarding their fighters. Because celebrity boxing has always been around. You got to think, over 20 years ago, Refrigerator Perry fought Manute Bol. so that didn't really get much exposure because more fighters was fighting each other. I saw once the WBO became a main title, I knew that was going to be a problem. Because now you can have up to 4 champions per weight class, and that just means more ducking. So we can't blame Jake Paul. They took advantage of a situation. Okay, nobody's fighting each other. I got 1 million fans on YouTube. I'm gonna jump into this boxing thing. That's not Jake Paul's fault. That's y'all favorite fighters' fault. They're not wanting to fight each other.
The issue, but what I would say the issue is the exhibitions before were just that. They were exhibitions. When Ken Shamrock came out and he was like, he's gonna do a boxing match, it was known as a boxing match, as an exhibition, and it wasn't the headliner. It was in between,
because the main top
event,
fighters were fighting each other back then. That's why it wasn't a headliner. Jake Paul's headlining now because we can't get Spence Crawford, we can't get Tyson Fury Usyk, we can't get Better BB. Well, we can't get the top fighters to fight each other, and it's not always the fighters' fault. It's the promoters. Most of the time.
And that is true though. If every week that Jake Paul is supposed to have a fight, there was a better fight available as real boxers, he probably wouldn't sell as much.
Exactly. So we can't blame. We got to blame.
I mean, even look at this weekend. He got Mayweather and Broner to compete with, but they're trash ass fights. So he's probably gonna be the biggest selling fight this next weekend.
To be honest, if you had a good fight, unless you had a mega fight to line him up against, he's going to outsell him regardless. If you put him out there, hear me out, because he already. So all right, let's for example, if you have give me a fight that's coming up.
Nobody had a problem.
There are no big fights coming up.
No. I'm just thinking. All right. So,
how come no one had this energy when Muhammad Ali was out here fighting wrestlers and trying to fight Will Chamberlain and shit? No one had this energy
because it was earned. It was like it was part of his tour.
What did Will Chamberlain ever do to deserve a Muhammad Ali fight? What did Unaki ever do?
At least there was one fighter in the ring. Like, it wasn't that much energy when it was Floyd and him. It was like, okay, it's Floyd and him, right?
Man, Floyd fought Conor McGregor on paper. Floyd was a college fighter, fought Conor McGregor.
Right.
One of the biggest pay-per-views of all time.
You're right. But Floyd sold it as Floyd was the representative for boxing in there. The difference between an exhibition and a boxing match is there's somebody, a representative of boxing, in that ring. When it's this exhibition that he's doing, he's dressing it up as a boxing match. That's why I say he's selling demos. That's a demo. This ain't real. This
Man,
ain't no
listen,
real.
What's the difference? What's the difference
Cumbo,
in
stop.
Floyd versus McGregor and
Hey,
Jake Paul versus
hey,
what's his name? Tyron Woodley.
y'all
What's the
don't
difference?
y'all don't have that energy for 50-year-old Roy Jones and 50-year-old Mike Tyson fighting
I didn't watch it.
exhibition, highest pay per
I
view.
didn't watch it. It was an exhibition. They none of them was an exhibition, and I did not watch it.
I
I can
watched
only
it
speak about me.
and
I
I
didn't.
bought it
I didn't watch it.
I watched
I wasn't.
it. I watched it.
and I bought
did
that
catch
one.
it. I did catch it on YouTube. I was like, "Oh, look at pop up trying to keep his hip in
I
place."
watched it. But I'm not a Jake Paul fan, but I will say that I'm not mad at the guy for making money because it's basically the promoters and the fighters' fault that Jake Paul became this star. Because if the top fights, like I say, it's already we're already almost 8 weeks, 2 months into 2023, and there hasn't been a big fight yet, and there aren't any big fights scheduled. You know what I'm
He
saying?
ain't ducking no smoke. What I like about Jake, he ain't ducking no smoke. Every time someone criticizes him, he's like, all right, watch my next one. I'm going to fight this dude then. Oh, the next one, I'm going to fight this dude. He told Eddie Hearn to his face, I'll fight any fighter in my weight class under 10 professional fights.
And
Like,
Jake and now Tommy Fury is a legitimate fight.
Under 10, but listen. Look at these stipulations. Under 10 professional fights, right?
yeah,
don't-
at that time,
he don't
Jake
have
only
10
had
fights,
4.
Okay, this is what I need to say. Okay, let's do this then. Let's do this. Line him up against an Olympian. Line him up against an Olympian who's came out because what weight class he fights in so fast? He fights at
Cruiser.
cruiser.
6 fights. He's got 6 fucking fights. And you're like,
He won't
damn,
even-
somebody's
he
been
won't-
fighting their whole life. That'll prove it.
What do you mean?
Like,
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
but
When it's
they
your
never-
favorite
but they
fighter
never
getting
put-
built
but
up,
they
there's
never
never
force
this
the pro.
criticism,
You're
bro.
not listening
Like
what I'm
Earl
saying.
Spence first
You're not
6
listening
fights,
what I'm
Bud's
saying.
first 6 fights, Tank's first 6 fights, Mayweather's first. Most of these dudes' first 6 fights, there's not this much criticism. Put him in there with the best. Fuck that. Don't build him up. I don't want to see him get better. I don't care.
When I'm talking about Olympic, I mean someone that just came out. I'm talking about the next. He needs to fight. You know.
Well, there's no more boxing in the Olympics, so there goes that.
I know. Listen. So like for example, you got I hate to say the name, you know, who I'm going to say, he's an Olympian, right? He's still fighting people that's lesser than him. So whoever's in that weight class, whoever would have been that guy and that came out of the games the same time that he came out, line Tyson Fury. I mean, not Tyson. Line Jake Paul up.
Yeah, but Jake Paul doesn't have. He really doesn't have an amateur.
Hey,
career.
I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody. If
And they
Jake
don't really
Paul
have a
beats,
professional career. So that means
if
Jake Paul might have more professional fights
Jake
than
beats
whoever this
Tommy,
fight is.
if Jake beats Tommy next weekend, everyone's gonna get their wish because for one, he's gonna be ranked in an actual, you know what I'm saying, organization. I think the WBO is talking about putting him in the top 15 if he beats Tommy. Whether he deserves it or not, when you're at that point, you're gonna have to fight somebody of some type of status, ranked opponent. And from this point on, no going back. You know what I mean? Like I think, like I said, I think every fight he's upped his competition slightly so as he should when you're building. And I mean, once he beats this quote unquote professional fighter, from now on he's gonna have to fight professional fighters because he's not gonna. I mean, even that KSI fight, even though it's a bag, it's kind of beneath him at this time because he's an actual fighter and KSI, you know, he's doing his thing. But so right now, even the KSI fight, which is probably way more money, is beneath him in his career because now he's fighting professional fighters. So it's kind of hard to go back to MMAs and back to YouTube stars and shit. It's probably from here on out he's gonna fight, and I think that's why he has Mukabu and Badu Jack as his co-main because those, I believe, they're all cruisers.
Yeah,
and I mean he may be lining something up there. So if he fights Badu Jack his next fight, is that okay?
Yeah, I ain't got a problem with it. I mean, I don't think Jake Paul is going to become an all-time great, but what he's doing, I'm not mad at what he's doing at all.
Not at all.
I'm giving him respect. He's getting in the ring. I mean, I'm giving him his props. I mean,
and especially when you attach the promotion part to it, bro. Like that's a part people are really, really missing. 6 fights in, he's promoting his own shit, and in 6 fights, he's covered all pay-per-view platforms. Who has done that in the history of boxing? In the history of boxing. Like who has fought on every platform you can fight on in 6 fights and sold pay-per-views on those platforms?
And the problem is the top fighters, whoever you may have as your top pound for pound, whatever. We got Canelo fighting Ryder as his next fight. Come on, man. He should be getting more disrespect than Jake Paul's getting for fighting Fury.
Facts.
Everybody says
No, but
Canelo's like top.
Ryder's an actual boxer. But Ryder, he's actually did amateurs. He put his
Man,
life in this.
that fight is a disgrace, man. Canelo should be ashamed of himself getting paid tens of millions of dollars for that fight. That's a disgrace.
And then it's looking like they're lining up Berlanga after that.
And we know he's gonna beat Berlanga. Berlanga is just a name at this point.
See, but here's the thing
good
too.
name.
When it comes to Canelo, we're like when it comes to Boo Boo and Benavidez, oh, they ain't fought nobody. They need to go fight someone. They need to earn a fight with me. But then John Ryder and Berlanga,
It's ridiculous.
come on, man.
I just think boxing has the promoters and the fighters have killed the sport, and everybody's blaming
All
Jake
right.
Paul.
So hold on. It's a fighter.
Nah, you know what it is?
It's a fighter.
It's
Hold
when
on,
you
hold
do
on.
your bitch dirty and cheat on her all the time, and then she looks really happy with the next nigga. That's what this is, bro. Like,
Listen. Hold on. Julio Cesar La Cruz, right? I had to look this guy up because I don't know. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm Googling that shit right now, right? Julio Cesar Cruz, he was in that 2016 Olympic Games. He won the gold medal. He's a Cuban fighter. He's 2-2 as a professional. I feel more respect if he fight him.
Well, if he's Cuban, that means he's probably 8 years older than what his birth certificate says.
And so is Jake. And Jake has more professional fights. That's I'll give you that. And I don't want to hear nobody say anything about, he fought a 2-2 fighter. That's cool. He fought a 2-2 fighter who was Olympic gold medal.
Jake probably loses that fight though, because Cubans, they can box pretty good, man. They're pretty good, man. And they're old.
It doesn't. But the thing is, their style doesn't transfer over well for boxing, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't transfer over.
It's not just their style.
That's a boxing amateur. I mean, for pros.
It's not that their style doesn't transform over well. It's just that a lot of these guys are older than what they birth certificate are. That's why by the time these guys turn pro, they're older. Then we're like, it's no way you're telling me I'm older than Rigondeaux. I don't believe it. There's no way.
Yeah.
And there's no way you're telling me I'm
and he won
Ortiz.
gold. And he won gold in the 2020 Olympic Games. So let me see who they got in the Olympic Games that was there. Let's see David Nakia. Let's see how many fights what he looks like. He got a boxing record of 5-4. Fight him. He's from New Zealand. He's a heavyweight. He fought as he fought as a light heavyweight in the Olympics. He won a bronze. You know what I'm saying? And then you got this guy, Muslim Gadzahamagadoof. Fuck that. He couldn't fight nobody with that name. I'm sorry. I would want him to win. I really would want. He's Russian.
I like what Jake Paul did with the female boxing though.
But he's going to win. Hey, listen. I give him that. I give him like even old girl. She that's calling out Clarissa. That's one of her fighters, and she said it. That's when he fights on for. I mean, she fights on for. She's one of his fighters, and she spoke highly of him. You know what I'm saying? And she's not bucking down. She's making good money. You know what I'm saying? She said he's a real fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's actually out there training. He's doing his thing. I give you that. I just don't want nobody. Don't be selling me demos, bruh. I don't care if it's just one time. Don't be selling me demos. This ain't coke. It's not what it is.
The thing is, Jake Paul has never claimed to be the best fighter in the world.
But he claimed to be a boxer.
He is a boxer.
You don't start your boxing career on fighting novelty acts.
I mean, I'm saying he's not a top fighter, but he is a professional fighter.
You can't gauge him. You can't. He's by paperwork a professional fighter, right? On paper, he's a professional fighter, but you can't gauge him. You can't gauge his skill set. You can't rank him anywhere, anything, because he's fighting novelty acts.
Well,
you don't fight novelty acts.
So how do you feel about Kendall Gill? How do you feel about Kendall Gill?
Same. I don't waver on this.
Okay, I mean, because Kendall Gill's he's about 50. You know what I'm saying? He's undefeated. He's got some knockouts, and I don't have a problem with it.
That's cool, but he's in the way. No, he's not
in the way. I mean, he's not. Jake Paul's not a top 10 fighter. He's not a top 10 ranked fighter. I mean, he's just doing this. Being people that are buying his fights, they're doing it for him. Like his YouTube fans, whatever. And it's a couple of casuals and guys that want to see him get beat. But the guy's making a name for himself. He's selling himself.
Depending how Fury looks in this nice fight, especially because look who he's fighting. Probably I don't know who he's fighting, right? But I have speculations, right? And if he fights any lesser opponent or If he fights a less opponent or he fights and he looks bad, then he's the same thing to Jake Paul to me. You're just playing around with the sport I love. Get the fuck out of
Okay, but who's your favorite fighters though? Who's your favorite fighter right now?
You really want to know who my
Yeah, I do.
everybody knows my favorite
I do.
fighter is.
Who's your favorite fighters right now?
Fighters.
Yeah, fighters. Yeah, different fighters. Yeah.
Gary Antoine Russell.
And Gary Russell don't he fights what once every 18 months?
No. That's the middle one. That's the one that's at 140. That's the one I think.
No, I know you talking about the featherweight.
Yeah, the lightweight. No, I'm talking about the lightweight.
Well, he's a lightweight now. Okay.
The brother, the one that just fought in the 2016.
How often does he fight?
Probably twice a year.
Okay. All right, who's another fighter? Who's another favorite fighter?
I like of course I like Earl, but he's not active, so I really can't.
Not active at all. And I like Earl too. I like Gary Russell and I like Earl. Okay, go ahead. Who else?
I like Usyk. I like Andy.
I like Usyk. I like Ruiz.
I like Usyk, Andy, and I'm trying to think of somebody active. You don't
think Usyk's pricing himself out of a Tyson Fury fight?
I think it sells over there.
Yeah, but do you think he deserves 50% in the UK? Regardless of how many belts he has, he's not as popular as Tyson Fury in the UK.
But he knows that Tyson Fury can't fight nowhere outside the UK. So like,
yes, he can.
He's kind of like, he can't fight. He can't. Hey, how you doing, buddy? I don't think he can fight in America.
Well, he probably can't fight in America, but he can fight somewhere else.
Yeah, Dubai.
Yeah. I mean, my only thing, the problem is these guys are not. A lot of our favorite fighters, I got favorite fighters too. A lot of my favorite fighters aren't fighters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not active, and that opens the door for a guy like Jake Paul to come in and just take over.
You got good fighters like Evan Holyfield or Ali Rashad, Wash Ali or Wash Nico, right? You got Kid Austin. I like to see,
Hey, another guy I blame Bob Arum. Got promoters like Bob Arum and other promoters. They took boxing off of free TV.
Yeah,
because when I was coming up, Mike Tyson, I could see Mike Tyson fight on ABC. ABC is channel 12 here in my state. I could see Mike Tyson fight on ABC growing when I was coming up for free on weekends when he was a young prospect. We don't see that anymore. We don't get to see fighters on ABC and NBC.
You're correct.
And that's a problem. I mean, most of the older people, people in their 50s and 60s, they don't have streaming apps. They don't have ESPN Plus. They don't have the Zone. They don't know these new fighters, man. But yeah, it's becoming a problem, man. It's becoming a problem that you're taking boxing off of free TV. Even the Olympics back in the day.
Do you have Hypnotic? Okay. You don't? Okay, no Hypnotic Hennessy? No, I hear you. Let me get a shot of 1800. 1800? Yes. No, like, but you got fighters like Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? Who
I like
should be able to make him some money.
But Keyshawn should be on free TV. He shouldn't be on the ESPN app. Getting his name out there.
You're correct. And but why, how can you say for someone who's earned it, it's supposed to be on free TV? But this guy,
I'm saying he doesn't have 10 fights yet. He should be building his name up through free TV. And then once his name get built up, then it goes from free TV, but there's no HBO no more, but free TV to Showtime. Now free TV to ESPN to Showtime. Then you go to pay-per-view. I mean, I'm not a promoter. I don't have all the answers, but this is the way it was done in the past.
No. I feel you. Listen. I feel you. But what I'm saying is, the writing's on the wall, and I just see it going downhill from here.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
It was like
going down here.
It's like when Obama became president. I knew that we were supposed to have some bullshit coming down the road.
I can agree with that too. I can definitely agree with that. A lot of people don't like you talking about Obama, but I told people in 2008, I was like, first and foremost, Obama is a politician before he's anything else. I was telling people this. No one believed me.
Yeah, correct. Like, I don't know, man. I just.
Boxing is in a
It's
bad place, man. 'Cause
it,
it's bad, man. I mean,
so
it is already, like I said, we're almost 8 weeks into the year,
yeah.
and we haven't had no big fights yet. And the only big fight that is scheduled this year so far is Katie Taylor Serrano 2. So far, it's the only. I'm talking about huge fight. I'm not talking about fight for the periods. I'm talking about that the casuals can get into as well. That's the biggest
Mhm.
fight that's scheduled so far, 2 months into the year.
No. Listen. To love boxing is to hate boxing. But once you love boxing, you always demand respect of boxing.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
like a devil dog, a Marine. While in the Corps, they hate it, can't stand it. But in or out, they will always demand respect of it.
Mm.
So the same thing for a fight. Like, listen, fighters are happy to see other fighters get the money. That's cool. We love it. We want to see it. And we understand that it's a nasty, bad situation, that it's a nasty place to be in. But we also understand that the road and that path that you get there is what you respect. It's that partnership, that brothership, that you seeing each other. Like, you literally are at these tournaments as an amateur and you're playing, you're all having fun, running around, having a good time. Next thing you know, you're in the ring with each other. But y'all actually get a bond. Your father or your mother can't take you on that trip to that tournament. Now you riding with somebody else. And their father, their mother at the hotel making sure you good.
Mm.
Like that's why like a lot of these fighters, if you look at these fighters that come out together, they all have much respect for each other. They all may have stories. It's like a brotherhood. It's really a brotherhood. And it's just these exhibition things that Jake Paul and them doing is taken away from the brotherhood. Because there's going to be a time that boxing is going to have to, and the only way for boxing to change is for the fighters themselves to stand up at the top to the bottom and say, we're done, we're not moving. The system will change, not us. We will no longer conform to the system that's in front of us. The only thing that's the most regulated thing in boxing is going to sign for the application, sign for your license. You say, oh, now I'm a pro, I got a little license, I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
But,
Good talking to y'all. Wait.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get over here myself, man. I'm gonna go ahead. All right, Kyle, man. I'll holler at you later.
All right, man. Y'all be safe, man.
Yep.